Hey guys, I am actually going to be recording the most random backtest I've ever done. I am actually testing something new. Usually my entries are on the 1 minute, but I'm going to be upgrading my system a little bit so I can scale into larger accounts. Just because once you enter with 1 to 5 million on the 1 minute entries, usually you start to get slipped out and you start to lose a little bit of that edge, or you're giving up that edge to potentially get bigger RR. However, now what I want to test is I'm going to be further away from the charts, so less time on the computer. So I want to update my system, be a little um, we'll do actually, what market should we do? I just need to be further away from the computer for longer periods of time. And so I'm going to upgrade to 5 minute entries, and you can kind of see what that'll look like. Like I said, this is just the most random uh, test run I'm going to be doing. So I got some light music in the background, and we'll just do, I think NAS. We'll do NAS or US30. We'll do NAS. We're going to start from the beginning of the year just to see how performance would have compared to my current system. And then, like I said, this is completely new, so I don't know what I'm expecting from this. I'm approaching the market from a different understanding, just slightly. And so, what I'm doing is previously on my system, we'd wait for all the for everything to be perfect. And so, what I'm going to allow now is for some time frames to not align. For I'm going to allow for more error, like what I would have considered error in my system, because I've been realizing that I'm giving up a good amount of my edge. And so just some refinement, seeing what I can do. So yeah, we'll start a back test and see how things go. I I'm setting up the mic properly this time, so hopefully everything sounds perfect. So we're gonna move up and just do a regular back test and see how this goes. I'm not really gonna walk you through it because I don't know if this is going to turn out well or not. So we're just going to kind of roll through it and see what happens. But I'll kind of walk you through my thought process, see kind of what I'm looking at. Right now, I'm waiting for some sort of demand validation to come into the market. Clearly, we're just kind of flushing out, probably going into some very high time frame stage 1 to go into that stage 2. So that's completely normal. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for the market to start to show some bullishness. And see if we can get position long here. Probably going to be falling off for a little bit. But yeah. Oh, fuck me. I played it way too fast. Okay. Well, we're going to pretend we didn't know what just happened. Doesn't matter because our entry's on the 5 minute. So 4 hour from 5 minute is quite far apart. So really, I didn't get much detail into what's going to happen. Daily. Okay. Reaccumulation, 4 hour. Strong bullishness, reaccumulation, 1 hour. So it was in some sort of distribution model, but we want it to align with our higher time frame model. So we're gonna consider this some sort of accumulation. I'm gonna step down to 30, see what's going on here. Quite extended. So what I'm gonna do is, because I am entering on the 5 minute, I'll kind of use the 30, the 1 hour, and everything in between as validation timeframes. And clearly there's nothing to do here for me. Yep, just kind of went. Let's look at the 4 hour again. Yep. So even though I did play it forward, we probably wouldn't have missed anything. So that's good. Nothing to do here. Okay, we're building up something. Definitely showing some sort of demand coming into the market, but gonna give it some time. Hourly, once again, we're just kind of flushing down part of this larger accumulation, so we can expect some back and forth movement. 4 hour, building something nice. So hourly and 30 minute, I'm going to wait for some bullishness to come into the market. Something like that, quite weak. So what I'll actually wait for is for some sort of stage 1 here. Going to go without me, that's perfectly fine. Okay, this is pretty okay. Let's see if there's anything on the 5 minute. And once again, I am using 1 ATR stops. So that's kind of how I'll gauge if it's worth putting risk on a position or not. Definitely not here. And so what I'm kind of waiting for is for a tighter SL to be created, something more like this. Yep. This is more of my risk profile that I'm looking for. I'm gonna wait for the 20 or 30 minute. Yeah, so this is lining up quite nicely on the 5 minute. Kind of just fell through. Step back up to 30, see what's going on here. Still valid, still valid. However, we did push quite far away from it. So now what I'm gonna wait is for a 20 or 30 minute build up. Once again, probably a 20 minute. If we're working, yeah, 20 minutes seems reasonable. Quite weak, didn't close above any ranges. Getting quite wicky. Market close, oh, yeah, that's why, because of market close. So I'm gonna give it good amount of time. 30 minute, starting to build something out of this range. 5 minute. 30 minute is clean. 30 minute is not so clean, but the 20 minute is what is clean. So good. Gonna look for some sort of entry here. I'm gonna wait for a buy stop and a low to be created. Whatever low is created next, if it's within my risk parameter, ATR, I'll take the trade. Otherwise, I'll just kind of be staying out. Let me adjust this a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so this would have been my entry right here. Quite tight actually, but we're on the 5 minute. So as you take on more and more capital, you can you're looking at a daily, a 4 hour stop this size is gonna be 10 times the size. You'd be looking at this something like that on the hires. I'm just waiting to get stopped in, and we take a beautiful loss. 20 minute, kind of still building something on the 20 minute. Here we're building something nice, 30. So we could wait for some sort of intermediary flush out, but still clean for us actually. So I'm gonna look for another way to get positioned into this if it wants to give us something. Still kind of weak. If we step up to 30, we are building something, and we're getting these nice absorption plays and mitigations of intermediary S&Ds. So building something quite weak. I'm gonna give it one more candle here. Still kind of weak. I want to see some strong bullishness come into this market before I touch it. There we go. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Step down to the 5 minute. Yeah. If a new low is created, I'll take risk on that new low. So this would have been my entry right here. I'm gonna step back down lower. So it's something like that, I think. Let's see. Oh no, it wasn't, was it? Forgot where the stop was at. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna do a top down again just to see where we're at on the market. 1 hour hourly is looking clean. 30 minute is looking clean. 5 minute entry. So what I would do is I'd do the same analysis before, but I would wait for everything to align perfectly, which I quickly found out was actually keeping me out of a lot of amazing price action. And then I would step down to 1 minute. So wait for a 5 minute validation, something like this. This is actually a bad example because we're very far low in the range, but look for something like this, and then some sort of buy stop of any high. And so I'd take a trade something like this. But when you actually consider, what a trade like this would look like, yeah, you're getting a lot of RR, but commissions, like depending on what commodity you're trading or asset, you're going to be, what's it called? Opening different position sizes, and with tight stops like this, it's just going to eat at your commissions quite a bit. So here we're looking at a 4.16 stop versus a 2.35. So double the size for 5xing my entry time frame, which is perfectly okay with me. Nothing to do quite here. I'll move to break even, given my rules. Take a beautiful break even. Step back down to 30 or the 20. Let's see what's here. Likely to go into another stage 1 in which I could follow the market. We're building these beautiful structures up. So quite extended for me. So I'm going to wait for that stage 1 to build out or go without me. That is completely fine. Okay. Beautiful. 20-minute is building up. 30-minute is building up. 5-minute, we're going to look for some sort of buy stop entry. Somewhere around here. Now, what you could do, depending on your rules, depending on what you want to do, you can wait for more validation. I like to, like I said, I'm testing right now, so I kind of want to see what I'm looking at. I've gone on my own time and done my own kind of research on how I expect the market to move. So we're at so if no new lows created, this is the trade I'll take. Perfect. Didn't take a single thing there. 20 minutes, going to start failing back down a little bit. Going to give it time to catch itself. 30-minute or hourly. Hourly is looking pretty okay. I just want to see a nice build up here. Okay, this is looking okay. Step back up to the hourly. Hourly is starting to build up. 20-minute is looking quite choppy, actually. So here, let me look at the others. 4 hour we're stage 1ing quite nicely. This could be the beginning of stage 2, and that's I'm entering in anticipation that this is going to be early stage 2 with these new 30-minute and hourly pushes up. So I could step down to a 20-minute. This is okay valid. I want to see one more candle push up, and most of the times what I realize is I actually miss the move because we make a move this high and it's too extended for me. Like that. You know, this would have been my entry and I would have missed it. Okay, now we're stage 1ing. This is very nice because now we have these intermediary demand zones that are being put into place and supported. And we're just building these beautiful 2.0 zones, if you want to call them that. We're just building zones off of zones, showing beautiful demand coming into the market. So what I'll do is I'll put a buy stop here at this high with the new low wherever, somewhere here. Nothing. Still valid. We're looking at a 16 ATR. This is quite big, so what I'll wait is another low to be created to get buy stopped in. This is okay. If no new low gets created, this is the trade I'll take. Let's look at the 20. 20-minute is still kind of valid. I do want to see on the 5-minute a very good strength candle to just buy stop me in. That's usually with these more lower entries. That's what I like to see, just a strong burst candle on the 5-minute to get us in. But yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, this would have been our entry right below that swing low. And so the way I would do this on the live market is as this candle opens, it pushes down and then starts pushing back up. That's going to be my entry. So I'll do a limit to see if I get limited in here. Perfect. Move to break even. Take a break even. Step back up to the 20-minute. We're probably still building that hourly and 4-hour stage 1. Yep. So hopefully going into that early stage 2 now. And jump back down to the 30-minute. 30-minute is clean. 20-minute is clean. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so if I get a good 5-minute buy stop off of this high with an ATR low somewhere around here, I'll take it. Let's look at the 20 and 30 again. I'm starting to not like it. On the 20, it looks okay. The move is mainly coming from these lows down here, primarily from this low pushing up. So we're quite overextended already for my liking. So what I could do on the probably the 30 is what I want to watch right here. A little cleaner price action. Gonna wait for stage 1 MAs to catch up. Give me some sort of interaction and show clear buying once again. Okay, I missed it. That's completely fine. Nothing to do here quite yet. I want to see that stage 1. I should have my MAs properly set. Yeah, EMAs. Okay. Just wanted to make sure because sometimes I'll jump around. 30-minute, 20-minute. So if we would have used the 20-minute on some sort of 20-minute validation, we probably wouldn't have gotten anything here. The best I could see is here, but I don't like to see price action like this. It wasn't clear. You can't define the strength coming in from any one point. Price is just kind of moving sideways now, so we're building up something here. I'm going to give it time, even though it's probably going to go. There we go. So this is what I'd like to see. Stage 1, if you want to consider this some sort of stage 1, going into that early stage 2, which is probably going to be the start, early stage 2 of the 4-hour? 4-hour, we already pushed away from here. What time frame was that? Hourly, 30. Yeah, So it was a 30 to 20 minute at stage 1 pushing out away from it. So I'll look for a 5-minute buy stop off that high with a low somewhere within 1 ATR. Once again, same rules. Nothing to do here. Here we're at 11 and my ATR is not to be found. Where'd it go? Hate it when this happens. Because then I pop it on, but there's another one right here. So 7. So I want to look somewhere around 7 for an ATR. Gonna look for another low to be created. This is perfect. Whoop. Jump back up to the 30 minute to see where we're at. 30 and 20 minute. Yeah, this is a reasonable entry for me. Gonna look for a buy stop in here. And it just kind of falls down. 20 minute, gonna wait for some sort of stage 1. Fall back down a little bit. 30 minute, looking clean. 5 minute, we're gonna look for some sort of buy stop right here. Something like this, within 1 ATR. We're looking at 8, just slightly above an ATR. That's acceptable for me. I'd never ever go above 2 ATR, but I like to keep it somewhere in between. 30, yeah, this is an okay entry. Yeah, nothing to do here. 20, probably jump up to 30 now. We're getting a little bit of back and forth. Beautiful. Step back up to the 30. Now the 5 minute. Gonna look for the same thing. Oh, red news. Wouldn't have ever traded that. Gonna jump back up to the 20. See where we're at on the 4 hour. 4 hour is good. Going into some sort of what you can call intermediary or fractal reaccumulation on every other time frame below that. So if you step down to like 30 minute or the hourly, yep. Hourly, we're still in accumulation, but very clearly flushing out. 4 hour, good. 1 hour, good. 20 minute. I want to see some more bullishness come into this market because we did just undergo red news. So I'll jump up to 4 hour. There we go. Okay, hourly is looking good. 20 minute. I'm going to wait for some sort of build up of some sorts like this. This is okay. You know, building up demand. So clearly money's coming into the market. 5 minute. Here, let me look at where I want my entry. So there's a couple options here. I could set a buy stop up of this high, which would confirm in many different factors that there's demand coming into the market because you're going to have some sort of demand zone or money coming into here to push above all the selling that came in at this point. So there you can get extra confirmation. Or if I step down to the 20, this can be confirmation enough if you want to consider this some level of demand. And so you could set a buy stop above this high because I am a little bit more of a risky trader. I will take entries like these, look for stop within 1 ATR. I do like this low. If no new low gets created, this is the trade I'll take. Still valid, still valid. Yep, market close, so nothing to do here. Probably gonna step back up to 30 or 20 to wait for something else to build up. Probably 30 to get a little bit more clarity. Once again, clear demand coming into the market, building up these demand zones, intermediary demand zones. 4 hour is still valid. Stage 1ing, 1 hour is questionable. We're quite low in the range. 20 minute, we are building those zones once again. And because we have pushed away, interacted with the MAs, this could be a great start to move. So what I'll do is jump down to the 5 minute. Quite illiquid right now, just a couple hours after the market reopened. We're looking at a 7. Yeah, this is about 1 ATR. Willing to put risk on this position. Hopefully we get tapped out just for testing purposes. Okay, 20 minute or 30 minute. We're going to wait for another build up. Clearly, hopefully, yeah, we're starting to hold up these zones. Nothing to do quite yet. Quite a weak market. Hourly, still within this weird range. Absorbed whatever was here. Likely to continue pushing higher. 4 hour, once again, very flat, very dry. And this is what I mean by testing. On my previous system, I'd never take a trade like this, ever. I'd wait on validation on every single time frame. And now what I'm doing is I'm stepping lower and scalping these stages 1s and 2s all the way up, which will ultimately build up. Because what I realized is I'd start to get involved once validation was confirmed on everything, and I was giving up a lot of potential reward. So I'm willing to take on that extra risk and see if it's gonna result in extra profitability. Of course, I can expect my win rate to significantly drop, but I am okay with that as long as I'm paying less in commissions and I'm getting hopefully more positions to take, if that makes sense. Because I'm kind of reducing that filter. Nothing to do here. What I am kind of waiting for, like this might be valid for some. I want to see a candle something like this. Valid, but questionable. If you want to consider this like a giant range, kind of range bound a little bit. 20-minute, hourly. Yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit of time to prove itself to me. Okay. 4 hour, probably going to start the stage 2 now. Quite wicky, but still okay. Hourly, we're finally getting that demand coming in. Strong push up, had some sort of fractal structure here. Absorbed, now pushing higher. I could probably step down to 30-minute. Yep, 30 minutes clean. So what I'll do is I'll set up a buy stop above this high, and then a low somewhere within 1 ATR, wherever the next candle's created. And see where it's worth. So this is 19. I hate where my where's my ATR go? It just kind of disappears. Don't know where it goes. We're looking at 19 and 17. So this is still a valid entry if I don't get any other low created. Still valid. So actually, before I get buy stopped in, I'm going to update my low to this. Now we're looking at a 14 unit stop loss versus 17 ATR. Valid. Move to break even. Take a break even. Wait for the 30 to show some sort of validation again. 4 hour is once again still range bound. So this is where you can expect to take more break evens and losses, areas like these. But there's still plenty of potential, especially on the 4 hour. Like a 1 hour move from a 1 hour validation, something like this from here to here, you know, you're looking at a pretty good return on a 5 minute. I actually want to go check that out because I am testing. So clearly there was no entry here for me. But assuming you do take even something like this bad, which is this is pretty bad, you're looking at a break even still. Probably maybe a 2RR if you manage quite aggressively. So 4 hour is okay, 1 hour is okay. Let's see if we I'm gonna wait for a 30-minute or 20-minute validation again to see what we catch here. I'll probably wait on the 30. Nothing to do, nothing to do. Okay, so on this candle, sorry, I played a little fast. And like I said, this is testing. This isn't a system that's, you know, polished. And I want to see, I'm looking at different things, how price interacts on different time frames. Because like I said, I'm working with completely different time frames now. I'm no longer stepping down to the 1 minute. So 4 hour, we're starting to build something still within this giant range. However, what I am testing personally, and I'll tell you because this is what I'm looking at right now, is are there opportunities on the 5 minute here for me? Like what opportunities were presented? Is this validation enough for me to enter, or am I going to see myself getting taken out a lot more often? So 4 hour, good. 1 hour, good. 20-minute. Extended for me, but probably if I jump to the 30-minute, it's going to be valid. Yep, valid. 5 minute, going to look for some sort of entry. Just whatever next entry I'm given here with 1 ATR stop per usual. This looks like a 6. Yep, 6.35. So I'll drop it down. Something like that. 20-minute. 20-minute is not very valid for me, quite extended, but on the 30-minute, this is completely valid. And then I'm also testing, I'm seeing how the 20-minute and 30-minute look and how they kind of interact with each other, if that makes sense. Good entry, nothing to break even yet. Break even. I wait for good bullishness to come in and take another break even. Beautiful. I'm gonna step back up to the 30-minute or probably the 20-minute. Nothing to do here quite yet. Gonna wait. We're definitely building up something though. So good market worth following. Once again, valid on both the 20 and the 30. And then gonna take the next buy stop on the 5-minute. Something like this. Within 1 ATR. This is 6.6, so a little big. I'll probably set it right below there. Good entry and a loss. Once again, gonna wait for a 30-minute validation. Okay, hourly starting to fall down. 4-hour is once again still in the stage 1. And so what I'm starting to realize is maybe the 4-hour is still worth considering to take into account for stage 1s. You know, if I start getting involved in here quite a bit, I'm probably going to end up taking more losses than wins. And so why not wait for 4-hour validation as well? Not just 1 hour, 30-minute, and 20-minute. Why not also wait for that 4-hour validation, right? Because what I'm doing right now is only considering hourly validations, hourly, 20-minute, 30-minute. But we'll see. Building up something. We're still within this range. Nothing to do here quite yet. Gonna wait for some strong bullishness to come in. Probably go up to the hourly. Hourly, clearly stage 1ing. So wait for some sort of build up on the 30-minute. Good build up. Coming back into the MAs. Now, I could have considered this area right here, but from my personal testing, more likely than not, you're going to get another down candle right after that one. That kind of goes into a lower time frame accumulation. So you're going to expect to get chopped out, especially on the first MB or the first structure breakup. So 4-hour, like I said, I'm testing. So personally, I'd never take anything like this. I'd wait for validation on the 4-hour. But let's look at the hourly and see if it gives anything. This is okay. Probably jump down to a 20-minute, see what actually happened here. There we go. So 30-minute probably going to be valid. Yep, 20-minute is going to be valid. And so 5-minute, we're going to look for a buy stop right above this high. Something like that. Clearly, I mean, this is definitely not within our risk. Because if you play it to the candle before and we look at our ATR, if it doesn't disappear, hopefully. Yep, if you look at our ATR here, we're at a 13. So actually, this is quite valid. We're within 1 ATR at the time of the candle open. So hourly, this is okay. 4-hour, I mean, clearly, I personally wouldn't take something like this, but I can expect the 4-hour here. I can expect this 4-hour to actually continue something like this when we made a strong push up above like this, and I can expect the next candle to continue going down. And it's all in the hopes that this wick that's right here will account for all the losses and break evens that I should have taken, or that I did take right here. And so I'm in anticipation that this is the start of the stage 2 and we have a big wick, or even if it's not the start of stage 2 and we wick back down or have a big candle down, it's the anticipation that we'll reach high enough to take okay profits on this. So like I said, something completely new, but I figured I'd test it since I've been leaving a lot of money on the table for my system. So yeah, well, let's see what it gives us. Yep, beautiful loss. Maybe news, maybe not. I couldn't tell you, but I'll wait for the 30-minute to give us another entry. Technically, this is valid under my rules. Hourly is good. 20-minute. 20-minute is actually quite extended. So now I kind of have to think, okay, well, what happens when the 30-minute is valid? Because the strength came from one candle and interacted with the MA versus the 20-minute where now the strength is coming from two separate candles. I can't attribute the strength coming from one candle in particular here. I can't say one's stronger than the other because the strength ultimately started from here and pushed all the way up here. So now the question is this still a valid entry for me? And so that's what I'm kind of testing as well. So I'm going to skip this because more likely than not, we're going to stage 1 here, give us a beautiful setup to continue higher. Like that. I want it to come a little lower. We're just kind of falling now. So 30 minute, going to wait for another build up. Okay, 20 minute, beautiful. So this is one of the entries I take. And this, on a higher time frame, you look at the 4 hour or the 1 hour, this is a range bound market. But I don't know how to explain it, but it's in the hopes that this time frame is large enough that it'll still give us good, decent moves. Like if I would have gotten involved here, good move. If I would have gotten involved here, good move. And so, like I said, testing. So we'll see how things play out. Good entry here. Gonna wait for the next low to be created. Beautiful tight low. Something like this. Okay. This is actually at market close, so this would definitely not be a valid trade. I don't even know why I'm playing it forward, but not a trade I would take. Gonna go back down to the 20 minute. Oh, let me exclude that from the data collection real quick. Okay, I'm gonna play forward. Probably jump back up to the hourly. We're failing back down. Gonna wait for something to build up. And so as we see here, given this 4 hour range bound market, from my current testing, from what we just did, I'm starting to realize maybe I should wait for a 4 hour validation. So I'm gonna give this market a little bit of time to play around. Okay, putting in some nice bullish demand. Starting to do something. Let's look at that hourly. Hourly, we're now stage 1ing, hopefully starting that stage 2. So even though on the 4 hour, we're quite low in the range, MAs are just now starting to slope up. There's a couple options I got here. Hourly is valid for a trade. Hourly, probably the 30 minute or the 20 minute is as well. Yep, 20 minute. So these are valid entries for me. The question is it going to offset? Like even a move this size, let's go and take a look if it's even plausible. So buy stop here, something like this. Jump back up to the 4 hour. So you kind of have to think about it. Is a move this size, probably not 18 RR, is a move this size plausible on the hourly? Most definitely. On the 4 hour, that's just a wick. That's equivalent to any of these wicks. And that's what I'm in the prospect of. I'm hoping that these small moves on the 4 hour or on the 20 and 5 minute do amount for ultimate gain. So 5 minute, we're gonna wait for an entry here. Go to entry, hopefully it's within 1 ATR. Yeah, still valid. Gonna do a limit, see if it, so I don't have to replay. Yep. Move to break even. Oh, damn it. I hate when this happens. My break even line moves behind the, I'm gonna replay. My break even line moves behind my entry order thing and I can't move it anymore. So just gonna work on getting re-entered into here. I think this was the stop we had, hopefully. Yep, buy stopped in, move to break even. I'll move it slightly above. Nothing to manage to quite yet for me. And so now if we jump down up to the hourly, we can see, okay, that move that we are anticipating, that built up demand, clear demand from these zones, that had even the smallest amount of follow through, we're already up 4 RR. And that's, what I'm testing. So on the 5 minute is where I'll take care of the majority of management. Nothing to manage to quite yet. Nothing. This would be an area to manage to, but it's too close to price. So I'm going to give it time to do whatever it needs to. Okay, now it's worth managing to. Beautiful, right below those lows. And taken out. Yep. So now we're gonna move back to the 20 or 30 to see where we're at in price. Coming back to the MA, kind of just doing its own thing. If we look at that hourly, starting to put in that bullish price action. Beautiful demand once again coming into this market, demand. And so that gives me extra confirmation. And so what if, in a market like this, I can wait for demand validation and then look to follow along. That could keep me out. These are all variables that I'm looking at and trying to see what is, good for me. Because I took an entry here and I just took out 3RR out of the market. And clearly it was just this small of a move, So on the 4 hour. So jump back down to the 20 minute. Gonna wait for some more validation to come in. Step down to the 5 minute. Gonna look for a buy stop of the high with a new low somewhere around 1 ATR. Nothing. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hope that the next candle opens somewhere within this range. Yep, like that. This is a valid entry. Let's step up to 20 and 30 to see where we're at in price. Yeah, this is completely valid. Taken out right away. Gonna jump back up to 20. Still a valid market, and so what I'll do is I'll set another buy stop at this high with a low somewhere within 1 ATR. I don't think that's an ATR, is it? 10? Yeah, it's actually very valid. And so the thing that sucks with this is on the 1 minute, whenever I take entries, my stops would be, even up to this tight, very tight, even smaller sometimes, believe it or not. And hopefully by not being too lenient, if that makes sense, I'm not giving up too much RR by having larger stops. But I don't think that should be a problem at all. Hopefully the commissions I save make up for that move or the change that I'm making. So 20 minute, not valid anymore. Gonna wait for some sort of stage 1, probably on 30 minute, nothing. So 20 minute, gonna wait for some sort of stage 1. Now if we go and look at the hourly and the 4 hour is gonna have some sort of validation here. Demand's holding up, pushing higher. So now the market I can expect is going to perform beautifully because now we have that 4 hour validation, just how I would trade my system before. My system, I wouldn't trade it until I had this validation right here. And so now I can expect similar results to my other system. The only thing that's changing is the time frames, which should be the same shit all across the board, just looking at different numbers. And then, yeah, so step back down to 30 or the 20. Probably the 20 will show us a little bit more. Want to see some good validation come into this. So I'm going to set a buy stop above this high with a low within 1 ATR. Beautiful. Falls back down. Going to wait for another 20 validation or a 30. 30 is valid for a buy stop above this high, which will give us extra confluence as this demand held up. 20 minute, we're holding up this demand, starting to push higher, but we're still within this range. So I'm probably going to wait for the extra validation to come in. And so what I could do is set up a buy stop above this high with a low somewhere within this area. Okay, we're getting there. On the 20 minute, now we're starting to push away above this range, showing some sort of demand on this fractal level. I'll take, because we are seeing demand there, what I could do is now I'm going to update my... No. I'm actually going to leave this entry because the difference right here is so small, but it could make all the difference. I'd rather not get entered than to take a -1 just because of a wick. Beautiful. Hopefully we're with one ATR 25. Yeah. So this would have been my entry. Now the other option I was actually looking at was because the 20 minute was starting to show a good amount of demand coming in. This would have been my entry. So I took it in the prospect that price wouldn't accidentally wick me out or wick me in and then wick me out. So let's hope that doesn't happen now. Would have happened anyway, so it doesn't matter. Actually, I probably would have taken a break even on this one. No, definitely not. 20 minute, Here, we'll step back up to 4 hour, 4 hour, clear demand, 20 minute. Very clear price action. Now what I could do is set a buy stop above this high with a low somewhere within 1 ATR. Hope this is an ATR. 11, yep. Way less than an ATR. Buy stopped in and stopped out. 20 minute, gonna wait for some sort of validation again. Okay, we're just gonna do that. 30 minute is okay. Jump back down to the 5 minute. Look for some sort of validation entry. Somewhere around here. Beautiful. Would have gotten entered right around there. Move to break even. Nothing managed to. Nothing to manage to. Give it time. It just needs time. Okay, now we're getting quite extended. So now I probably do want to manage. I'll manage to this low. It'll give it time, because if we step up to the 20 minute, it'll give us time to stage 1, hopefully around here, to continue that push higher. So we'll see. Okay, perfect. Time to manage below these lows. And as the move gets more and more extended, I manage more aggressively because I know likely a 20 minute or 30 minute or 1 hour stage 1 is coming. So I'm willing to secure that extra risk because I know the moment some sort of demand fails, more likely than not, it's going to start that higher time frame stage 1. So beautiful. Here you kind of have to look at opportunity cost. You're looking at 9 RR versus 7, so that's difference of 3. I'm willing to take that because now if we step up to the 20 minute, we're likely going to start failing on the 5 minute right around here, which will start that stage 1. And if we're lucky, we'll survive it, but more likely than not, it'll come to around these levels and then continue building up. And that's where I'll get another entry. So let's see what happens. Continues going. Nothing to manage to quite yet. I need to see some sort of buildup. We are going into that 20 minute and 30 minute stage 1. We're likely not going to survive it. I'm just very pessimistic. Oh, I guess we do. Look at that 20 minute stage 1 we just survived. And by jumping around these different time frames, I can kind of anticipate what's going to happen. We went through on stage 1. I set my stop to the last point where I know institutions are going to want to protect prices. Here, if I step down to 5 minute, the last level where institutions are going to want to protect prices, because if this level, if this demand fails, likely than not, we're going to have a larger flush out, and I'm okay with that. So now we're going to manage to around here, because I know institutions are going to want to protect this level, because if we step up to the 20 minute, now we have some sort of demand coming into this level. And I know the moment price reaches these levels for the composite operator, for lack of a better term, they're going to be in negative positions, and that's the last thing they want to do. They're going to want to protect these areas as much as possible and buy up, as some would call premium pricing, if price comes back into these areas, or discounted pricing. So 5 minute, going to wait for those stronger pushes up. Once again, opportunity costs, you're looking at 11 versus 13. So that's an extra 2R. Let's look at the 20 minute. 20 minute, once again, we're not expecting prices to return, especially within this area, hidden S&D. It'll probably wick me out, to be honest, but once again, I managed a lot more aggressively. Wicks me out, hopefully. Come on, you know you want to. Wick me out. Wick me out. It's coming, don't you worry. Wicks me out. So now in the 20 minute, undergoing that stage 1, and hopefully now we get another buildup where I can get another entry with hopefully better risk to reward. Or I just stay out of this nasty price action. But more likely than not, hopefully we see that continuation higher. So step back down to the 5 minute. It wicked me out, and then hopefully we get a good reversal. Yep. So 20 minute. Nothing to do here for me quite yet. Gonna wait for more validation to come in. Sorry, it's getting a little laggy here. We're still recording, which is good. Okay. I guess that played a little fast, but let's see if we would have gotten anything. Maybe an entry here. Let's see how big that stop would have been. 15. No, absolutely not. So jump back up to the 20 and wait. 20 or 30. 30 is still valid, but I'll look at the 20. And I'm going to wait for another sort of stage 1 that we're kind of going into. And so we have demand coming into the market. Very nice. If we look at the 30-minute, this is going to be valid for an entry. We have our strength that came from this low to this high. And we're still within the high of the range. So once again, I'm taking all the concepts from my previous system and throwing them on. Like, it's the same thing, just different time frames, different, slightly different execution, just because of the size of stops and whatnot. So that's just what it's going to take getting used to. 20-minute is technically valid still. 20 and 30-minute. Okay, so this is good for a buy. And so what I'll do is I'll set up a buy stop at the high of the range. Let me look at the 20-minute again. Yep. So high of the range right around here. Low somewhere within an ATR, which is actually quite small. Let's see if we get anything. ATR is now 8, so maybe I could drop this down to about here. If I get no other entry, no other low created, then this will be my entry. Okay. Create that as my entry. Jump down to the 20-minute. We're kind of undergoing the stage 1. But once again, what I like to see in a situation like this, when price is catching up, so we had a strong burst. We're still within the high of the strong burst candle. I like to see a big candle on the 5-minute just buy stop me in and push me all the way up here. Otherwise, what you can anticipate is for the 20-minute to undergo this weird stage 1 and then to give you your validation for entries. So let's see what happens. Falls back down, and that's okay. Now we're going to wait for the 20-minute validations once again. Quite weak, still building this structure, creating demand. So let's see. Perfect. 5-minute, we're going to look for a buy stop entry. This would have been my entry with my low right here. 0.8% risk. Here, let me move this out the way. Okay. That would have been your entry. Oh, fuck me. Apparently it didn't stop me out. I don't know why, but we're still on the move. Gonna move to, I'll give it one more candle to move to break even. See how much we're up. Yeah, break even. Move to beautiful break even. Damn, it's being very laggy. Okay. Here, I'm gonna reload, just because it's being very slow. Okay. Wow. I might have to pause the recording here. Get this thing working again. Okay, perfect. Jump back up to the 20-minute. Let's see where we're at in price. Quite extended. Nothing to do here, so nothing to do. Let's look at the 30-minute. Yep. So one of my previous rules was I would still take an entry up here because it's the first 2 strength candles that came in from some sort of buildup. So build up, and these are the first 2 strength candles. But more likely than not, it's going to stage 1. That's what I want to see, and that's where I get the best RR, the best entries. So I'm going to wait for that stage 1 to hopefully build up. And if it goes without me, that's okay. And so looking at the 20-minute, or what was it, the hourly? Hourly? Yeah, this would have been a valid entry for me. But like I said, I just want to see that stage 1. Jump back down to the 20. 20 and 30 are valid for entries. Came into that stage 1 I was anticipating, kind of taking out absorption. So this right here, cool buy stop on the 1-minute. If I get a little, 5-minute, if I get a little bit of a sideways price action somewhere around here, this would have been my entry. I'll move it up just so I can buy stop myself in there. Ah, fuck. Okay, we'll do a limit. Get limit in, taken out. And so if you're trading the 20-minute, what was it, the 20? Yeah, you could have waited for some sideways price action here and then set up a buy stop above there. Kind of like an ICI, but 4 hour is still clean, 1 hour is still clean, 20-minute. Gonna wait for a little bit of validation to come in. Probably jump up to 30. Still nothing. Becoming a little clearer, probably a buy stop above this high if it presents itself. So what I could do, quite nasty price action, but like I said, just testing, trying to see where my edge lies trading a system like this, because you know the next candle could open up and push right past all this. So this is a valid entry. See if I get a good stop in there. 20-minute, we're actually going to let it validate with a little bit more strength. I don't like to see the weakness in these candles like that. And so now I'll set up my buy stop above this high. Something like that. Probably going to take another loss here, which is amazing. I like to see them. Come on. Yeah. Hang on. Why didn't I get buy stopped in? 20-minute. My entry, I don't remember if my entry was above this high or this high. Huh. Yeah, it should have been above this high. I don't know why. That should have been my entry. Let's look at the 20-minute. Still valid. 30-minute. Should be still valid. Okay, so I shouldn't have gotten entered there. I guess I set it a little too low. So I'll replay it and play it off. Yep, it was above that high. Didn't get tapped in. So now on the next, yeah. So this is 19. Yep, we're still within our risk right here. And so what I'll do is I'll set up a buy stop here. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for a new low to be created. Nothing new. So the moment this low candle opens here and pushes higher, that would have been my entry, but it's just very close, so I'm not even going to change it. Take a nice loss there. Gonna wait for the 20-minute to show a little bit more validation. Still showing quite a bit of strength here. Still within the high of the original strength candle, interacting with the MA pushing higher. And so generally what I'll see from here are large pushes. And so this is still valid for an entry for me. I guess I just got wicked in, so I'm going to wait for another entry here. Another entry. Let's see here, we're at 19. Yeah, so I'd be willing to expand this just up to around 18 or 19. And if a new low gets created, once again, that'll be my new low. Otherwise, this is the entry I'm taking. That's quite tight. 7. So that's like almost 1/3 of an ATR. That is something that I would do on my previous system and one of my rules, so I'll take it. Once again, if for your system, if this is too tight of a stop loss, just go up in timeframes. You can execute the same system, kind of like how I'm doing. Now I'm changing a few things here and there, but 20-minute, still valid. 5-minute, yeah, it was completely good. Move to break even. Very quick break even. Gonna wait for something to manage to. Something worth managing to. Not here. This is actually okay. This is a 3R. I'm willing to, you know, lose 1.5 R for the prospect of a quick absorption and then push away higher. Still nothing to manage to. Had some sort of fractal stage 1. Like if you step down to 1 minute right here, we had a nice stage 1 buildup, building up some new ranges here. So likely institutions are going to want to protect those areas. So I'm willing to manage to there. We're up 8R. Nothing to manage to quite yet. There we go. Once again, likely on the 1 minute, we had some sort of stage 1. I'm actually going to drop it down just a little bit like that. On the 20 minute, getting quite extended. 5 minute, like once again, on the 1 minute, we underwent some sort of flush out. Institutions started buying back up, holding all these zones. So this is just perfection and just building up new zones. So jump back up to the 5 minute. And let's see what we get here. Once again, if we were to jump down, you have to imagine price fractally. If we were to jump down, okay, we had some sort of hidden S&D here. That likely, it didn't mitigate this hidden S&D. So price never mitigated this area. So no 2.0 build-ups, which is a little less confluence than I like to see. Because what we had here is build up. And so what I'll do is jump back up to the 5 minute and I'll look for the biggest sort of area to protect, if that makes sense. So this is a half decent area to protect. We're up 15R. But once you get extended like that, I'm just anticipating. I'm waiting for the stage 1. And so I want to manage aggressive to the point where the moment any zone fails, I'm out of the price. So like the moment the 20 minute starts to go sideways and starts to fail somewhere around here, I'm out of price, catches up to the MA, goes through its regular stage 1, and I get in early stage 2 again, just like I did back here. It failed back here. I didn't get involved. The moment early stage 2 begins, that's where I'm in. So 5 minute, just kind of waiting. I'm going to give it one more candle. Yep. So this is an okay place I managed to. It's quite low and I'm giving up a good amount of RR for the prospect that I'm going to survive this next stage 1. But more likely than not, you can see how far we are. Because this stage 1 is going to undergo something like that. So I'm okay losing this position like that. Okay, 20 minute. Yeah. So maybe it's still going to go, still going to go. I want to see this 20 minute stage 1. And I guess I miss it, and that's okay. Goes without you. I secured my 15 RR, and you're good to go. So I'm starting to like this system because you realize I've been on the charts. You know, this was one trade. I took another trade back here. Like, that's one trade a day for the past 2 days, and then I didn't touch most of this price action for a little bit. And so I just want to be further away from the markets where I can scale more capital. Even on a 150K account, I actually want to go look at the equity curve, see what this is looking like. Because I want to properly set the expectation for what kind of returns. And of course, you're not going to be doing this kind of thing on a 150K account. Likely you're going to be doing, 1 million, 2 million, 17% return in 1 month. That's not too bad. Set the proper break even. 23% win rate. Like, this has been pretty shit. And the reason is because of that initial price action on the 4-hour stage 1 that we were looking at back here. This is what kind of killed my win rate. And so what you can do, and what I used to do, is go back and see, okay, we started backtest January 1st, and January 18th is when we started to become profitable. And you go and study the variables that helped you become profitable. So I'll put a line on the 18th and look at, okay, what happened here? Why weren't we making money here? Why did we start making money here? And it's exactly what I told you guys. It would be the 4-hour validation that makes or breaks a system. Clearly, here we just had break evens and losses. And so what happens, or what I would do in my previous system, is simply cut all these out, wait for the 4-hour validation, and that's something I might have to start to consider. Even on the 1 hour, if we look at the price action here on the hourly, there wasn't much good price action to trade, and I was looking for my validations on the 20 and 30 minute. So how about we start looking at the 4-hour validations and realize, okay, maybe there isn't a lot of an edge you can take out of zones like these. More likely than not, it's better to stay out, wait for that 4-hour strong validation, price scoops up the MAs scoop up the price, and this is where you start looking. And you would have stayed out of 15 days of price action. Well, back here was 15 till the 18th. 18 days of price action from whatever that might have been. So this is just kind of a quick back test I'm doing for myself. I'm going to continue this. I'll kind of record for a little bit and then I'll cut it off. But yeah, this is a new system I'm kind of building out that goes in line with what's being taught in the course. Hourly, good, 20 minute. Gonna wait for that stage 1. Hopefully now it comes in on the 20 and 30 minute. Here, let me delete that. Okay. Kind of just going sideways, nothing to do here. 30 minute. Starting to come out of this. Demand is showing very weak though. So I'm going to wait for the 20 minute to have a nice strong candle that pushes us out of this range. There we go. So if I step up to 30, we're building up these demand zones. Beautiful. And so if this were your entry time frame, what you could do is wait for some sort of build up here. Hopefully I can draw it. Some sort of build up sideways, buy stop right here, SL down here, and that's what most people do nowadays. They don't follow the small stop losses the way I do, because you ruin your win rate, but you also increase your average return. So I don't know, that's kind of up to personal preference. 20 minute is showing good validation, 30 minute is showing good validation. Price is getting scooped up very nicely. I'm going to look to take a buy above this high with a 1 ATR stop. And the ATR, I don't use it as like a end all be all, but I do use it to see the average price in the candles. And so what that kind of does is it eliminates the volatility of what I can expect to be an average good stop loss, right? So like right here, you're less likely to get wicked out versus with these bigger candles, you kind of have to account for that. So same thing, kind of just falls back down going up to 20 minute. Gonna wait for more 20 minute validation or probably even 30 minute for cleaner price action. Kind of building up these zones still, so gonna give it a little bit of time. Coming out of these zones, still within it though, so no clear bullishness. There we go. 20 minute. On the 20 minute, probably gonna Probably should have started looking at it right around these areas, but that's okay. Gonna jump down to the 20. I want to look at the 25 maybe. 20. Yeah, so this would have been a valid area to start looking at price action. And so that's kind of where my testing comes in. On my previous system, I would simply use the 10 and 20 minute, and now I'm looking at the 20 and 30 minute. So for validations, by the way. So now it's like, okay, what's valid? Because if this is the price action I'm working with, this is completely valid under my old system. Jump down to the 20 minute, this is no longer valid. This is what I would consider extended. And so that's kind of what I'm playing with. So do I want to use the 20 or the 30 or a mix of both? So I'll take a buy stop right above this high. And so if I would have been on the 20 minute, this would have been my entry right here. Or the, 20 minute. Strong bullishness validation into this market. But now this is overextended on the 20 minute, so now I have to look at the 30, and it's still valid under the 30 minute entry. So what I'll do is a stop 1 ATR. This would have been my entry. 4.99. I don't have my ATR up again. I don't like this. Okay, ATR is back up. We're looking at 8, so half an ATR taken out. Beautiful. And so now if we would have taken the 20 minute, clearly overextended, and now likely going to go into stage 1. Hopefully. Yep. Stage 1ing, building up beautiful demand. Let's look at the 10 minute, 20, 30. So the 30 minute would still be valid for a buy stop above this high. We're still within the high of this region, but 20 minute is certainly not. 20 minute, now we're just now getting the validations in. This is I'd wait for something to build up here. Yep, nothing to do. I'll wait for that 20 minute to do something. Jump up to 30. Hopefully wait for some validation. Now hourly, probably on the 4 hour, we might be undergoing that stage 1 that we did right here. And so probably now, this next time going forward, I'm not going to try to mess around with this price action because I know it's not profitable for me. So I might just wait for that 4 hour validation. Once we cut down lower, wait for that 4 hour validation right around here and then take it long. But as of right now, like I said, I'm testing, so I'm kind of playing with everything. Hourly, going to wait for that validation or some sort of validation. I want to see something that tells me that price is going to continue up. There we go. So 4 hour, clearly building up demand from these areas. 1 hour, good. 20 minute, 20 to 30 minute. Stage 1ing, so hopefully interact, and then strong push away. And just kind of fails back down. So hourly is still valid. Gonna wait for another stage 1 to build up right here. There we go. So 4 hour is still valid. Once again, we're getting the same wiki price action that we were getting at the beginning of this price action. Price came down, wicked up, and then this is kind of the same price action we're looking at from here to here. So it's kind of to my discretion. Price is still under the MAs, kind of pushing higher. So this is still valid for me, technically. Step down to the hourly. Hourly, if you want to consider this the range, there's nothing to do here. If you want to consider this the range, it's now valid for longs. Let me think about it for a second. No, I'm going to give it a little bit of time. I don't like this right here. More likely than not, I could see it chopping around this area for a little bit. Okay, perfect. So 4 hour, now coming out of that weird stage 1. Exactly what we're seeing here. This is like the equivalent to this candle being all the way up here. This price action right here. And so hourly is good. And so what I could have done is on that hourly validation on this candle right here, that's when I would have stepped down to my 20 minute. 20 minute would have been valid for an entry. I wouldn't have gotten anything in here. And then in this candle, this is where my entry would have been off this validation right here. Clear demand coming in, intermediary or fractal demand coming in. And then this could have been an entry. And so what I'm kind of testing is how low or how much risk can I take before it starts eating into my edge, I think is a half decent way of thinking about it. So 20 minute, gonna wait for a sort of stage 1 to build up. I don't kind of like this price action, quite extended for me. So I'm going to wait for that stage 1. And if it goes without me, so be it. We actually had red news, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Sorry, I talk a lot. 30-minute, nothing to do here. 20 minutes starting to become valid. Clear demand coming in, clear demand. Hourly, clearly quite weak on the hourly. But remember, a move this small on the hourly is equivalent to 3 RR for us. So it's you kind of have to play around with time frames. And so what I would do is I'll set an order. I'll go down to the 5-minute, see what a regular order looks like on the 5-minute, and see, okay, how plausible is it that the market's going to move that much? You know, something like this. This is, let's do a casual 4 RR. That's my average winner. Look at this on the 4-hour. This is, dude, this is just a wick. Like one of these wicks accounts for probably like 20 RR. And so something this small is going to make up for so much. And so what I was doing is I was waiting for the 4-hour validation. I wouldn't trade any of this price action, wait for the 4-hour validation. And then I'd often just get in way too late. And so now I'm starting to see how far I can push the boundary to get that extra RR out of my system while scaling on a higher time frame. This hourly, I'll move this small like a candle. If you were to take this candle and put it right here, that would have secured your 4 RR, you know? So hourly is definitely valid. 20-minute, definitely valid for an entry. The only time I will consider overextensions as of right now is on the 20 and 30-minute and everything in between. But the hourly, that, you know, a move that small is just incomparable. So where was I? 20-minute, yep. So I'm gonna look for some sort of buy stop above this high. There we go, that would have been our entry. And then set a limit, see if we get stopped in. Okay, stopped in, move to break even. Nothing to manage to quite yet. There we go, something to manage to. This is quite small, so I'll do below these lows, because if I step up to the 20-minute, it's all in hopes that you're going to survive some sort of stage 1. And so I don't want to see the stage 1 come below this hidden S&D, which is this one was mitigated, but then you jump up to the next. You don't want to see price jump below here. Otherwise, more likely than not, you're going to have some sort of larger reaccumulation that's going to break down through all your zones. Oh, I forgot to move my stop loss. Yep, so sideways, there we go. And so if I would have managed below this low, I would have gotten taken out. It's the understanding behind where I place my stop losses that allows me to get like 25 RR runners pretty often. You know, once again, there was no substance to this stopping in motion. If you jump down to the 1-minute, there's nothing here. You know, no body displacement, the pullback rule, nothing that points to why the move might want to be held. So, or why that zone wants to be held. Price is catching up. Once again, it's in the hopes that I'm going to survive this stage 1 on the 20-minute. 5-minute, interacting with the MA. Hopefully we get a nice correction, push up, get taken out, which is perfectly okay. I wasn't willing to give up the extra RR to survive this move. Okay, jump up to the 20-minute. Hopefully now going into that stage 1. Nothing to do, nothing to do. It goes without me. Stage 1, beautiful. This is what I like to see. Gonna look for some sort of buy stop above this high. 1 ATR stop. Nothing to do, nothing to do. Go back down to the 20-minute. Gonna wait for another validation to come in. Once again, validation not strong enough. Nothing to do here. No fractal demand or intermediary demand has been validated yet. Still nothing valid. I'd consider taking an entry above this high. So jump down to the 5-minute. Buy stop above that high. Looking for a tight SL. Let's see if this is within an ATR. And so as this is happening on the live market, I keep updating my lows. So a tighter low gets created. That's my tightest low right there. Is that within an ATR? That's questionable, right? On the live market, I would have kept this order open in anticipation that a new candle would have opened here. But here, 20-minute. Yeah, this is a valid entry. Oh, not the 1-minute, the 5-minute. Hopefully we get buy stopped in. Oh, this actually would have been a break even. Yeah, this would have been a break even. So hopefully, yeah. Doesn't matter if I got in it or not. Okay. Play it forward, jump back up to the 20-minute. See where we're at here. What day are we? January 24th. So we haven't even gone through a month of price action. I want to gauge, because yesterday I was doing a back test, and one of the biggest things that I found was that I was using the hourly as my validation and a 5-minute as an entry, and I was giving up so much potential. So I'm kind of scaling that down. Now I'm using 20 as validation and 5-minute as entry. So 20-minute validations will allow me for tighter entries down here instead of all the way up here on the hourly. Because the hourly, this is overextended under my rules. And so what I'd be waiting for is a stage 1. And so a wick this size is so much RR. I was giving all that up on my back test yesterday. So that's kind of what I'm testing today, 20-minute. Once again, if I jump up to the 30-minute, this is going to be valid, right? Stage 1, some sort of stage 1, pushed away, stage 1, pushed away, interacting with the MAs. 30-minute, this is valid. 20-minute, this is not valid. Overextended on the 20-minute because the strength, I cannot attribute it to one of the 2 candles. So step down to the 5-minute, and we're going to take our entry here. And so I need to figure out how I want to calculate these overextensions per se. Because on the 20-minute, yep. You see, that wouldn't even have been a trade on the 20-minute. There we go. Now on the 20-minute, this is valid. On the 30-minute, still valid on the 30-minute. So what I'll do is I'll set a buy stop at the high of the range, a low 1 ATR, and take it long. There we go. That would have been my entry right here. Whatever low's created. Let's see if we get anything. Entry right here. Gonna wait for one more candle to break even. Actually, let's take a look. How far up are we? Yeah, break even for me. Nothing to manage to quite yet. If we look at the 20-minute, just kind of started the stage 2 from this point on forward. And so I could see one more small burst before I really have to manage aggressively. So I'll give it time. I'm willing to take, we're up 5 RR right now. I'm willing to lose all that. Okay, perfect. Look at this huge stopping in price right here. Hidden S&D that price is likely going to want to protect. Now I'm managing more aggressively because we're quite extended. I could see a stage 1. Hopefully we survive it. Otherwise I'm going to get more entries down the road back here. Once price undergoes its stage 1, MAs catch up. Here are my new entries. And I get saved from... Hopefully I survive this actually. But we'll see. Yeah. 5-minute, still valid. All good. Don't survive it, unfortunately, but that gives us the 20-minute to, once again, overextended, not looking for any other entries, going to wait for that stage 1 to build up again. Yep, wouldn't have survived that stage 1 anyway. There we go, new entries. Exactly how I told you. The MAs are going to catch up. We're going to get that bullish push, and this is where I'm taking my entries. Going to wait for another buy stop of the high, low somewhere around here. Hopefully we're still recording. Good. Let's look at the ATR. Oh, damn it. ATR, we are at 18. Here we're at, what is that, 10? We can manage to take an ATR this size. Like I said, I'm a fan of the small stops. I know from my personal experience, if the move's going to go, it's going to go. If not, it's going to stop me out very quickly. So I like to take the tighter stops. This is still 3 times the average size of the other stop I'd be taking. My other stops would be something this size. So you're looking at 4 RR versus, I think it was 8 or 4 units, whatever units you're trading in, versus 9, so half. So I'm okay with this kind of stop. Get buy stopped in. More likely than not, price opened here, pushed down lower, and then pushed up higher, taken out, and that's okay. 20-minute. Let's look at the 20-minute. We're still at the high of the range. I'm going to give it time. Yep, nothing to do here for me. This is okay valid. I want to see one more candle interact with the MA and then push higher. And just kind of falls down. Jump back up to 30-minute. Nothing to do here quite yet. Let me open up TradingView real quick. I was looking at all these markets. Weekly good, daily good, 4-hour good, 1 hour. So here, we were looking at price action earlier on, what were we trading? Was it gold or NAS? This 4-hour price action, This is the kind of price action that sometimes I should stay out of and wait for the 4-hour validation, because that's where I saw my curve was unprofitable. On the hourly, I was actually doing back testing on this earlier and trying to see, okay, what could have happened. This is the first hourly validation. Demand. This is where I would have started looking for longs and would have taken a let me look. Yeah, so on this break, I would have started looking for longs. Then I would have stepped down to the 20 or 30 minute for validations, right? The strong push up, we'll consider this the strong push up. Would have waited for this validation right here. Let me go into replay. And on this candle right here, would have stepped down to the 5 minute and gotten an NECS entry. Assume we would have gotten this. This would have been a break even for me, right? So, like I said, from my personal experience, better to stay away from this price action. And now that we got on the NQ, oh no, I guess I was still on replay. NQ is just falling down. I know gold was acting up a little earlier. 4 hours still clean, 1 hour is still clean. 20 minute. So on the hourly, I'd wait for some sort of validation to come into this market. Build up. Doesn't have to be a double MB or anything like that. It can just be, call it whatever you want. Just for some sort of build up, strength to come in, and that's where I fall on the 20. Going to silver has actually been quite shit. Kind of just fell down. On the daily moves, like another thing I have to test personally is, okay, is this worth trading on the daily? Am I going to see some sort of profitability on even moves like these? So if I step down to, let me replay this bad boy, to a move like this, where I think it might become a validation, we're getting a little bit of demand. In this time, is this valid for me to trade? Well, let's look at it. 1 hour or 4 hour is good. I mean, you're seeing demand coming in. Hourly, demand, nothing to do quite yet. Like this pretty shit price action. And then it just falls off. Yeah, like there's nothing to do here. But like, what do you do here? Wait for the 4 hour validation again. Kind of just falls down. There we go, 4 hour validation. Looking for longs now. Likely going to build some sort of stage 1 here to continue into that stage 2. Jump down to the hourly. Hourly is valid. Going to wait for that 20 minute validation. If it wants to play. Falls down again. Probably wait on the hourly validation now. Or the 4 hour. 4 hour probably fell back down. Yep, just falls down. 4 hour kind of becoming valid a little bit, putting in demand. Hopefully we validate this demand now. Not yet. Okay, so this is okay. 1 hour is clean, 20 minute. Gonna wait for this 20 minute validation to come through. Nothing to do. Oh, well, I guess we missed it. Because it just gaps up very hard. 20 minute, gonna wait for this reaccumulation of some sorts. This is my entry right here. Look for a CS entry or a MB buy stop, fractal MB, whatever you want to trade, literally. As long as you have your context right, it shouldn't matter. Wait for my entry. Hopefully the market doesn't close, otherwise it's just going to gap. Look at the 20 minute again. 20 minute is stage 1ing again, but if we get a very strong burst, then it's completely valid for me. Like this is where I want to see that giant candle just come in, Nothing to do, and we're done. Jump back down to the 20 minute, wait for another validation, and just absolutely nothing to do. Probably look at the hourly. Hourlies, let's look at where we're at in price. Kind of putting in demand again. I mean, at least respecting this S&D, if you will. Putting in some more demand. I'd probably give this just a few candles to play out and show some bullishness coming in before you get involved. Okay. There we go. Jump back up to the 20 minute. Nothing valid quite yet. Wait for bullishness to come in. This is actually completely valid. Putting in a nice demand within some other S&D right here. Jump down to the 5 minute. Look for a valid buy stop right there. Something like that. Look for a tight stop. Looking to get gapped into it, hopefully. Like a quick, huge candle. not gap, but a giant candle. It's just very weird market, especially on the lowers. 20-minute is still valid, believe it or not. This was the original valid market. We're at the high of the range, but once again, we're getting more strength out of this 20-minute candle. So this is still quite valid for me. If you're very, risky, what you could do is set a buy stop above that high and a low right here. We'll set up both to see what happens. Buy stopped in, hopefully taken out of that one, get buy stopped into the other, and hopefully taken out. So 20-minute, gonna wait for more validation to come in. Just kind of gaps down. Yeah, this is a shit market. Just kind of gaps everywhere up and down. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm working through right now. We'll continue this for a little bit. 4 hour kind of coming down, hourly kind of cutting down through the MAs. 20-minute, waiting to see some clear validation coming in. Hourly. Sorry about that. Probably gonna wait for some bullishness to come in into this market. I could jump down to the 20-minute to see if I can get entered a little early. This would be a half decent entry here. Very, weak price action though. So I want to see something a little stronger, something like that. So 30-minute. Yeah, this isn't half bad. We're quite low in the range. And so I would never, in my previous system, take a trade right here. What I would wait is for the 4 hour. Actually, no, 4 hours is good. I'd wait for the hourly to show, good validation. And so we're getting these intermediary small validations, something like this. And this is still valid, but I always waited to see, good validation coming in. 20-minute is valid, so I'll jump down to the 5-minute and look for ACS. And if you notice something here, the models, like I don't really take into account the models anymore because I know what context we're in. I know that this, I wish I could jump down, like maybe a 4-minute will show this as an accumulation model, the back and forth, or 3-minute or a 1-minute. Yeah. So this to some extent is that fractal accumulation model that's going to put into effect this long stage 2, hopefully. And so that I just kind of know right off the bat, even though the 5-minute, we might be down, up, down, 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 likely distribution model, if you want to look at just the model itself without the context. But I know this to me is accumulation right out the gate. So jump up to the 5-minute, look for ACS somewhere around here. And let's see if we get buy stopped in. That would have been my entry. So what I do is I always try to find somewhere close to the ATR, not too tight, and I'll set it right above. And sometimes I'll get, especially on my current system, I'll get these very tight entries on live market. And those are my most profitable ones, but those are the ones that kind of ruin your win rate a little bit. Oops. There we go. They'll kind of ruin your win rate quite a bit. This would have been a break even. We did go 1 to 2. Yep. So either way, it's the quick stop outs for me that I like. I like to know if I'm right away. If the market's gonna do as I say, or if it's just gonna fail back down. Gonna jump back up to the 20-minute. Clearly, it was validating that demand. So I'm gonna wait for another validation to come through. Okay. 30 minutes, it's gonna be a valid entry. Jump down to the 5-minute, look for CS or a buy stop somewhere around here with a low within 1 ATR. This would have been my entry once again. Probably going to be a break even or a loss. Yep. 20-minute, jump back up. Gonna wait for another sort of validation to come through. And if we look at the hourly, well, should I be considering hourly validations like I did before? Well, probably, because now I'm just getting wicked out in these areas, I haven't considered validations on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, and that's probably why I'm getting wicked out. So now let's wait for the hourly validation. Some sort of demand coming in, some sort of demand coming in. Now that's validated for me. 4 hour, yeah, this isn't half bad. Jump down to the 20-minute now. 20-minute, we're too far extended, so I'm going to wait for stage 1 to get involved, which should further give us that validation on the hourly. So 20-minute, going to wait for that stage 1. Valid, but quite interesting price action. The only valid entry I see is above these highs. Let's see. Yeah. An entry above these highs with a low somewhere within an ATR stop. Still completely valid for me. News. Okay, so wouldn't have even touched that market for that period of time. Gonna wait for the 20-minute to come back down for stage 1 just because we missed it of news. Very clean. Gonna look for an entry right above this high. This would have been my entry right here. Hopefully within an ETR, yep. Gonna do a limit so I don't have to replay. And we take a loss. Beautiful. 20-minute, gonna wait for another, like hourly is validated. 4 hours valid. So yeah, just waiting for that stage 1 to kind of prove itself. Or not stage 1, for that 20-minute to prove itself. Bullishness. Valid, technically. Still within this range, so the last valid demand zone, I guess we could call, is this area. We're still within this range. I want to see one more candle up. Yeah, nothing to do here. Hourly probably fell back down, so maybe wait for the hourly validation again. Because if I jump down to the 20-minute, yeah, there's nothing to do here. Or even the 4 hour now. You know, we're undergoing that same price action that fucked us up earlier. I think it was this price action. Yeah, this price action that fucked us up at the beginning of our backtest. Well, we're kind of going back into it a little bit. So now let's wait for a 4 hour validation and see what we get. This to me is somewhat valid enough, especially on the 4 hour. Like a candle this size on the 4 hour is infinite amount of RR on a 5 minute and a 1 minute. Clear demand coming in, not too far below the MAs. MAs are starting to shift back up. Step down to the hourly. So, oh, that's the 12 hour. Hourly. Yep, price is getting scooped up by the hourly. I could expect some sort of stage 1 to build into that stage 2. So let's go into the 20-minute and see what entry it gives us. And actually the 20-minute is perfect for an entry right now. So I'll jump down, set a buy stop at the high of the range. Currently this is going to be my low unless I get a tighter one, and it falls back down, and that's okay. 20-minute, gonna wait for another validation if it wants to give it to me. There we go. 4 hour. Oh, what the hell? 4 hour is still kind of confirmed. I mean, if you want to look at this demand zone, traded above it, now just mitigated the price action. If we step down to the hourly, we're going to see what Anton is now teaching in the course, which is going to be these absorptions that are likely going to continue to push up, or even like 30-minute will show it way clearer. You know, you have your kind of MB buildups, and then we absorb, and now we're ready to push higher. So this is more confidence to add to my trade. Jump down to the 5-minute, take any buy stop above this high, something like that. Okay, that would have been my entry. I'll do a limit. Although this is probably break even already. Almost. Yep. So I don't know what it hit first. I'll move to break even now. We survived the break even. Nothing to manage to quite yet, and probably take a break even. Yep. 20-minute. Kind of falling back down again. Gonna wait for another validation. Valid. Jump up to 5-minute. Take a buy stop above this high. With a low, whatever next low is created. This low. Yep. Do a limit. Take a loss. So let's go look at what's actually going on here. We've been trading all this price action. Now the 4 hours starting to get validated. The hourly starting to shape up. 20-minute is still valid. Not for an entry for me though. And 4 hour likely just fell back down. So maybe wait for that 4 hour close validation for the candle to close up here to start looking for longs. Let's try that. And more likely than not, we're going to stay out of this nasty price action because the 1 hour right now is just going back and forth. Builds up, fails back down, builds up, maybe starts that stage 2 from here. We don't know. So I'm going to wait for that 4 hour validation to know that it's ready. There we go. That is enough validation for me. Build up from here. Build up from here. MA's scooping it up. Like, this is okay. Now, this isn't something I would do before, But like I said, I'm willing to take on a little bit more risk in the market and stay away from the market for a little bit longer. 20-minute stage 1, like fractal stage 1 is what I mean. There we go. 5-minute entry. See if we get anything. It's January 29th. So keep in mind, guys, it's been 1 month, right? Whatever this low, probably my entry, probably going to be a loss. Hopefully, I guess not. No news. Okay. Nothing to manage to quite yet. This is a half decent level to protect to at 4RR. I'll take it. I'll even throw it a little bit low because the 20-minute is likely quite extended. So I'll manage to there. Another place to manage to, once again, you can just see the selling that comes in. This is strong selling. You jump down to a 1 minute. Look, buildups. Beautiful, you know, the amount of money that it takes to make the market move this strong away from ranges like this. This is weak. Don't look at this. Look at these major areas that are going to support the general price movement, the institutions. I would consider managing to here if the next candle is, you know. And so here you have to consider 5RR versus 9RR. I'm going to take it. I'm going to get stopped out. I know that for a fact because the 20-minute is going to undergo this weird stage 1. But my previous stop loss was right here. So I'd rather just get another entry at the next fractal reaccumulation on the 20-minute. Stop me out. There we go. I got my 9RR and I'm happy. Now the 20-minute's going to start failing back down, hopefully. Let's see. Beautiful. It goes without me. So if I would have managed to this low, yeah, I would still be in the trade. But, that's the way I manage, and my psychology is okay with it. If I'm giving up 4RR for the prospect of making an extra 4, why not just secure the 4 you have right now? So everyone's different. Your managing styles are definitely going to vary. This is okay, not strong enough. Like, if I would have taken an entry, it would have been right here. This is just quite weak. I want to see clear validation come in. There we go. 30-minute, clean. 5-minute, clean. Looking for an entry right around here. Perfection. Something like that. At the low, whatever that is. Yep. Technically your entry would have been here. And a loss. So, doesn't matter. Actually, would it have been? Yeah, a loss. Although I do kind of want to look at this. Yeah. Jump back up to the 20-minute. 20-minute kind of getting scooped up. This is beautiful going into that stage 1 to hopefully start that stage 2. And just kind of falls down. Probably, let's go look at that hourly, see where we're at right now. A couple things I could do here. 4 hour is valid for longs, very clearly. But that 1 hour is starting to fail down. And so one thing I could do is wait for validation of this area. Like that. Hourly is now becoming validated. Jump down to the 20-minute and see how price is moving. Okay, I want to see some strong bullishness come in. And it just kind of fails down. Not really doing anything. So hourly validation actually failed. We had something going on here and then it just kind of fell through. So I'm going to wait for another hourly validation. Let's jump up to the 4 hour. 4 hour coming into this area. So what I could do is wait for the hourly validation. Kind of just falling down now. Yep, 4 hour is gone. Kind of like here. Exactly like here. And so now what I could anticipate, given this past history, we might probably just absorb this area and then continue pushing higher. And my validations for the 4 hour are going to be right around here. I'm no longer looking at this market. So let's see. Absorbs, pushes higher, hopefully. Give us that validation. Exactly like it did right here, just of reaccumulation. And now this is where hopefully the profitability comes back in, your edge. And so I'm ready to put money down in this market as soon as it gives me a good validation and a good entry. 20-minute, kind of weak actually. Very weak. Nothing to do here. Money is finally coming into the market. Came under the MA, is sweeping up nicely. Still nothing. I want to see a stage 1. If anything, my entry should have been here, so that's too late. There we go. Give me something good. This is okay. It's not very perfect per se, but validation here, validation here. This is okay for an entry. Yeah, I mean, it's a very early on entry, but I'd be willing to take risk on it. Stop right above the high, low, somewhere right around here. And let's see if we get anything. Oh, come on. Okay, that would have been our entry. 20 minute is still very weak, so probably gonna get stopped out, to be honest. Yep. And then it's gonna go. Just watch. Next couple of candles, gonna get our better validation. Yep. Quite extended for me. I'm gonna wait for the stage 1 to kind of do its thing. Give me that validation, and it just falls down. Plus, I probably shouldn't have traded this. News was at 6:30. I don't trade an hour before. Oh no, that's fine. Hourly, failing back down. Gonna wait for the validation of the hourly. Actually, I'll be right back. All right, guys. Hopefully the recording's still live. Everything's good. I actually just went out for lunch and I was out for a little bit. So let's see where we left off here. But I only have an hour left. I have a massage I gotta head to. The most random thing. So I want to see how we were doing on this back test real quick. See where we left off. Okay, well, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. I mean, for it to be a system that I kind of built up on the fly, horrible win rate. But I'm telling you guys, like from here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 of the 29 trades were just absolutely miserable and we shouldn't have taken. We learned that afterwards. And I believe that was because of the 4-hour breakdowns right here, the 4-hour stage 1. And so we should have waited for validation. And now that we are, that we underwent this 4-hour stage 1 of some sorts here, we didn't take all those losses that we ended up taking here. And so notice that by analyzing your equity curves afterwards, you get to skip out on this flat action or potentially even losses. You know, I was down 2-3 RR potentially. Yeah, we're down 4,150K risking, what was that, 0.8? Yeah, so we're down a couple RR. Now it's just break even, going up slowly. Like these are the small changes that will change the entire game for you, you know? Something as small as staying out of a context like this is going to make the entire change for you. Like you could have a really profitable system when the market's performing like this, but if you start taking trades in here, this is where people like don't know what the hell they're doing. And just like me, you saw me get chopped out in here. And that's just because I'm building out a system, a different system, and I want to see where the earliest I can push my edge to for profitability around these areas. And so now I know that I should probably wait for the 4-hour validation to start getting involved. And so, sorry, it's been kind of slow. So when I get involved in a market like this, well, let's see where I would trade. I would trade here, validation on the 4-hour, falls back down. Maybe consider a trade here. I don't know what's being super slow. Maybe consider a trade here, fails back down, probably a break even or a loss in here, probably a win in here, probably not very big. I mean, it is the 4-hour, so I wish I could jump down in here, and it's going to make my shit very slow. Hopefully it doesn't break anything. It's just because I have all that indicators on and all that. It just bogs down the system. But okay, yeah, we're not doing the shit. I give up. So we're just gonna refresh and then go back to where we were testing. But yeah, in 1 month we did 27% on one pair. So 150K account, you made 40 grand. That's, you know, the average salary of the world, I guess. Somewhere definitely, maybe the US. I think US average salary is like 60 something. You're looking at 63. Yeah, so you made like in Mexico maybe? Oh shit, that's not a lot of money. Average salary is around 10,000. You made 4 times what an average, you know, Mexican, hardworking Mexican, you know, would make. And they probably work way harder than Americans. I can actually say that because I have some background down there, but okay. So going back from this, let's jump back in and see where we're at. So 4 hour, kind of starting to still valid for entries. We had our demand come in. Daily still good. Daily clearly is showing some sort of demand coming into the market. Let me delete that. 1 hour. 1 hour is just kind of falling down, and probably the 20-minute as well. So I'm going to wait for the 1 hour or 4 hour validation. 4 hours okay, but I need to see some sort of good validation here. Generally, I don't like to see price go up and down the MAs like this, because that generally leads to a more choppy market. You know, there's no clear flow of money. 4 hour is still valid for longs. Hourly is quite questionable. Let's look at the 20-minute, 20 and 30-minute. Yeah, it needs a little bit of time. And so what I'm going to wait is for validation around these areas. This is okay. But once again, if you look at the hourly, where are we? We like cut very, steep. I'm just going to give this market time. I don't know what it's going to do. Yeah, it's probably going to shoot up from here, but it could also chop around. Like, it's just a very uncertain market. Yeah, and so hourly now is fine. 20-minute. We're going to wait for that 20-minute validation to kind of clear up again. Something like that. I want to see this more stage 1 a little bit. Yep. Almost. If I jump up to the 30, I'll probably... The 30 would have been a valid entry off of here. Somewhere in this area. But the 20 isn't. And so, once again, it goes back to a lot of testing and figuring out, okay, would have this delivered? Probably not. And so what I'm starting to realize is that I'm starting to like the 20-minute more. It'll keep me out of a lot more price action and only ensure I only get in on the very clean early stage 2s. And so we got news coming up, so I'm just going to skip all this. Clearly it didn't really have an effect. So we'll jump up to the hourly. Still valid, actually, on the hourly. Holding up demand all the way from down here. 20-minute, I just want to see some validations coming in on the 20-minute. And probably on the 30-minute. Can I do 45? Yeah. So I just like to jump around here. There's nothing to do quite yet, so I'm going to wait for some sort of build-up. Okay. Hourly is probably, yep, this is looking good. So 20, nothing clean yet. I'm going to wait for stage 1 to build up. I want to see some buying pressure of some sort. This is not the best. I'm going to give it time. There we go. This is exactly what I wanted to see. 5-minute. This is our entry. Going to look for just a simple buy stop of the high and a low somewhere down here. And like I said, this is me just throwing darts at the board and seeing what sticks and what doesn't, what context works, and what doesn't. Oh, I shouldn't place my order. I need to see where my stop loss is going to be at, which is pretty close. Beautiful. Okay. 20-minute, valid, 5-minute. Huh, we didn't get wicked in. Just by the pip. Gonna go back up to 20, still valid. Get wicked out, beautiful. What was my ATR? 8.2. Yeah, so this was a reasonable stop. I'm gonna laugh. Okay, if it goes now. Okay, 20-minute. Gonna wait for some sort of build up again. Taking out these lows. Hopefully sweeping up over the high and showing a good amount of bullishness coming in. Yes. Let me look at the hourly. Good. Hourly, we're in this weird stage 1. Hopefully it's the start of that stage 2. Once again, I'm testing the 4-hour and the 1-hour validations. Should I be waiting for the hourly to validate and start pushing higher? Or should I kind of step down lower into the 20 and wait for some sort of fractal buildup accumulation? So if we step down to like the 1-minute, the 5-minute, this is some sort of accumulation building up here, likely to break this high and continue pushing higher. So that's there's a lot of testing that goes into this. 20-minute, we're still valid actually. So what I'll do is I'll set up a buy stop above this high, which quite frankly aligns pretty well with this high. So I'll move it a little higher and then a low somewhere within an ATR. What's our ATR? 8 point something. Yep. So we're within 1. Yeah, this is a good entry. I wish it would have stopped right here and given us a new low, but that's just not how it goes sometimes. Set up a limit. And we're stopped out. Beautiful. 20-minute. I'm going to wait for something to come in. I mean, this is still a clean setup over these highs. there we go. Another entry. Gonna jump down to our 5 minute. See if we can get anything. And if I don't get anything, this is probably gonna be the last trade I take in this area. Let's see how big this SL was. We went up to, what is that, 5? Yeah, this is a valid trade. Hopefully, yep, I don't think it's break even. So this is kind of it for me on this area. And so now I'm starting to realize, okay, I just took 3 losses here. Why? Well, I wasn't sure of the hourly, there was no hourly validation for me, right? This was the only sign of strength that kind of came into the market. Then it went back down, then it went back up. And so let's go and analyze when we were profitable. Let's go here. Okay, we were profitable from the 18th to the 19th. Let's just look at those 2 days and see January 18th to 19th. Okay, well, what was the context in? Validated right here, coming out of the zone. So here, what we'll do, we'll analyze every single time frame. The 4 hour, okay, nothing here. This was our most unprofitable time. Validated on this candle. Oh, what a surprise. That's when we started becoming profitable. Hourly, jump down to the hourly. Look at the way price is moving. Perfection. Look at the way price is moving here. Just kind of slothing back and forth. And so this is something that I actually considered in my old system. Not my old, but my 1 minute entry system. I'm waiting for the 4 hour and the 1 hour to validate. And so while a lot of people would be entering off these areas and in the anticipation, kind of like how I've been doing, that price is going to continue pushing up, sometimes it's just better to wait for that validation. So on the hourly, what I'm going to do is wait for that validation. All it takes is 1 hour, 1 candle. Boom. That's all it took. I just would have skipped all this price action, maybe taken a loss here, just because the way, things are. And then, yeah, this is a good enough validation for me. Step down to the 20 minute. Still nothing on here, so I'm going to give it a little bit of time. Hourly falls back down. Nothing to do. So now, once again, I'm going to wait for my hourly validation, which just kind of fell down. Boom. Oh, it was red news. So, yeah, skip all that. 4 hours still valid, still holding some good demand. Hourly, once again, we're going to wait for our hourly validation because I could jump down to the 20 minute and wait for validation on here. This is okay, not the best. This is good. And so I could take an entry here. I'm actually going to pretend to take it, but I'm not actually going to. Entry right here with a low somewhere around here. Boom, this would have been our entry. Now, if we look at the hourly, so we entered right here. I need to think about this now. If you want to consider this some sort of demand coming into the market, pushing higher, actually, I lie, guys. This was a very good entry. Maybe I shouldn't fake it because this was actually really good. The 20 minute. Yeah. Okay. For 4 hour holding demand, 1 hour just put in demand. It was this strong push that put in that demand. That leads me to believe we're going to continue pushing higher or the start of early stage 2. So believe it or not, this is a trade I would certainly take. I'm going to do a limit, see if we get in. Okay, now I have to restart the trade because I don't want to have to replay. Okay. So, I didn't see that, but this was actually a very fantastic trade for me. Okay, hopefully that tapped us in. Fuck. Okay, I have to do a stop order. Okay, buy stop right here. Perfect. Okay, so we'll just do a regular buy stop at 1 to 2. Yeah, we're break even already. Hopefully it's a break even. Beautiful. Okay, so now 20 minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is looking a lot better than what it was earlier. Gonna wait for some sort of validation on the 20 minute. This is okay, but I want to see price like a candle open up here and close about there. Close, but no. Hourly, once again, yep, exactly. Lost that strength we had, and now we're just sideways again. So yeah, even though this demand held, 2 things I can do right now. Wait for a new validation up to around here. But what I've realized is this is where I miss most of the move. And so what I'll do is step down to the 20 minute and wait for a new validation. The hourly is already good to go. We got demand holding up from all the way down here. Money's coming in. Clearly, we look at this push. Like, that's clear money coming in. Now we just got to wait for another impulse, like more money to come in here. and see if we catch anything. This is getting quite interesting. This is okay. I don't like the size of the candles. No clear like movement. It was just a glob of 3-4 candles that created that strength. And so I want to see something strong. So we're having demand push higher and higher. Now we're just validating this kind of fractal S&D zone. And this is something I could consider. Looking at the 30. 30 is okay. Hourly is just in this weird zone. But once again, demand is holding. We're creating more demand off of, some sort of zone in here. Yeah. I mean, it's not the cleanest entry, but I've certainly seen worse. So this is something I'd definitely put risk on. And like I said, I'm just testing, so I don't know what I'd like to see in something like this, because it is quite different from my other 1 minute entry. Okay, and yeah, next buy stop entry. Okay, this looks reasonable. Let's step up to the 20, see if we're still valid. We're still valid. Demand holding up from, if you want to see this as like some sort of S&D, or down here. Actually, so this got mitigated by this wick, created this S&D, got mitigated by this wick. So yeah, this is going to be like our last refined S&D if you want to look at it that way. I'm not looking for price to return to this area or this area, right? But it's just telling me a story about the way price is moving, and this is wonderful. So kind of weak, once again, on the 20 minute, I want to see a big candle. However, we did interact. Hopefully, yeah, we interacted with the MA, kind of surfed it up, coming back sideways a little bit. Not my favorite entry, but we'll take it a shot and see what happens. Good. Okay. Move to break even-ish. Beautiful. Still break even, nothing to do. Because if we step up to the 20 minute, look, MAs are catching up. Hopefully we have just enough playroom where it surfs the MA and then finds some sort of demand on the lowers to kind of push itself back up. Otherwise, it'll just take us out, which is fine. So it looks like we did find some sort of support. If we step up to like even the 10 minute, this is perfection. Now I know price won't want to return here at all. And if it does, it's likely more for a flush out, like a big flush out. Perfect. This is an area I'd be willing to manage to. 3.7R. We're looking at this kind of demand right here. I like to match different areas. So this would be the last point that I'd like to see hit. However, I'm not willing to lose over half of my gains just for, the potential. Like there's not enough gains on the table. So you're looking at the opportunity cost. Likely we're going to get taken out, to be honest. But I guess not. Watch, it's about to reverse. Ah, that would have been funny. Okay, 20 minute. So now when we look at this successful trade, we look at the hourly. Okay, we had somewhat hourly demand come in. This is the reason why we started looking at this market to begin with. Now we go down to the 20 minute, good 20 minute demand. This is where we got entered. And we got our 3RR, almost 4 out of this move. And this is exactly what I'm looking to build out of my system. Because if I'm going to be completely honest, on my previous system, I wouldn't be touching the market until price was up here and already closed. Versus now, this is like perfection for me. This is exactly what I've been looking for. So I'm going to wait for the 20 minute to build something newer. And perfect. Going to look for our 5 minute entry, buy stop, something like that. This would have been our entry. It's probably going to take us out. I'm very pessimistic. I always have the objective of the market taking me out. I don't know why. I just won't be surprised when it actually does. And I'm like, oh, knew it. So 20 minute, we're going to wait for something else to build up. This is okay. Building some sort of stage 1. Looking at the 5 minute, we could, like an entry right here would be okay. But more likely than not, I want to see it stage 1 a little bit longer before I consider any sort of entry. So let's look at the 20 again. 20, We didn't really ride the MA like the way I like to see it, but I also know these trades are some of the ones that really run. Interacted with the MA, pushed higher at the high of the range. We're not too far away from the original strength candle. That's a metric I like to use to measure how what do you call it? How far a move has, like, if it's overextended pretty much on this time frame. I'll look at the original burst right here, this candle, and I'll see how far we've displaced. This is pretty, good. When we look at a burst like this is the original burst candle. That's a bad example. This is the original burst candle. Any area within here would have been more than enough valid for me, because I know a move this small is nothing. Look at how big these moves can be. And so I will still consider an entry at the high of it if we get a good low. Something right around here. Let me erase this line. Something right around here, a low, something like that. Let's see if we get in. Yep, that's good. We're getting a longer stage 1 that I wanted to see. Gonna wait for a buildup of some sorts. Falls back down hourly. We no longer have validation. If you kind of want to look at the fractal ranges of it, we had last demand holding up from here, just fell back down. Nothing to do here. Probably if we look at the 4-hour, we likely lost a lot of what I was looking for. We had our validations from down here, validations from down here. Nothing very clear right here. Like, this is the last zone I want to see protected, but now we're starting to kind of interact with the MA. So what I'll do is step down to the hourly and wait for new demand to come on the hourly. This is okay. Let's look at the 4-hour. I'm gonna give the hourly a little bit more time. I want to see it up here, because now we're just kind of chopping around in this range. Yep. So 4-hour. Now we're now we should wait for that 4-hour validation, because look at this. Similar price action. You have your giant wick down, your move up, and look, this is where we're at. Right here. Here. Screen copy that. Place it right here. Fuck me. Fuck. Okay, so we'll copy image. Okay, and then I don't think I can paste in here. Yeah, I can't paste in here like I can in TradingView. However, yeah, it's the exact same move as we were seeing down here. More likely than not, we're going to follow this exact motion down here. Just a nice little flush out. And this is now where I've learned my lesson, and I'm going to wait for the 4-hour to validate. Exactly, moving as we thought. Now it's going to catch itself, fall a little bit more, and likely continue its move up in some form. Catching itself. I'm not touching this market until it validates for me. No valid. There we go. That's simple. So I probably just missed, like, if we step down to the hourly right here, maybe a loss, maybe a break even, or a very small win in here, and probably a win in here. So you gotta give up a little bit, to save those losses. So 4-hour valid. I mean, if you want me to point it out, 4-hour demand valid from right here. Hourly demand clearly from here and from, yeah, this final push down. Kind of like a weird S&D right there, but goes to this low. Hourly's clean, 20-minute. We're going to wait for stage 1, and then we'll get involved. Nothing. Stage 1ing. Going to wait for this to build up. It's okay. The only entry I could potentially see is at the high of this range. Let's see if we get anything. 20-minute, starting to push higher. So what I could do is consider an entry at the high of this range, depending on how the market's looking. Right? Let's look at the 20. Yeah, so the strength is coming from this candle originally, still at the high of this range, of this candle. However, more strength is coming in from this candle, which makes it a completely valid candidate. The only thing I don't like right here is this. This is some new demand that's coming in, like a demand zone that's being formed, or some sort of fractalized MB that still is unconfirmed. And so this is our only kind of demand that's coming in. Let's look at the 5-minute. We can either take a buy stop here at this high with a low somewhere around here, or we can take a buy off this high with a low somewhere around there. If we want to, yeah, I'll take the lower one because it seems like a very valid trade, and stop somewhere around the ATR. Perfect. And that would have been our entry. No, I kind of have to tell you guys what's going to happen so I don't like play it forward, and that's why I'm talking so much, so it doesn't seem like I'm saying it afterwards. Okay. Likely move to break even. Let's see. Yeah, we'll move to break even. Nothing to manage yet. Okay, it's moved quite a bit. Still nothing to manage to. The only thing I see is right here right now, because this is still way too close to price. And if we step up to the 20, we're quite extended. This was the original burst off the 20. This and this, these two candles, look how much we've displaced. So likely I want to manage as soon as possible, but I'm going to give it one more candle because I could see the next one coming down and then the next few pushing back up. Like that. Pushing down. And I'm willing to take my break even. As sad as that is, you know? And break even. Come on, give me a break even. And so now the last point I'd want to manage to is right around here, 3R. We're right below this sort of demand that came in. We're still in unconfirmed demand right here. So what I want to see is a break of this high. And then you got all these clouds of liquidity up here, if you want to call them that. Above these highs, yeah. And I'll be willing to take my 3RR and run with it, you know? Where's the 20-minute at? 20-minute? Yeah. It could probably undergo a nice pop under here and then a nice push up. Or, I mean, it's in prime. Like, I have no more risk on this position. I'd be willing to take another entry here if the 20-minute allows us to. I need to see some validation. Yeah. I mean, we're risk-free on this trade. We're already up 3RR. It's kind of weak, but it's still a good entry for me. I'll take a... Oh, we have red news. Huh, never mind. Okay. So I guess this position is so far enough that red news generally shouldn't cause a move of whatever the hell this is. And what we can do... like, if this is your first time testing and you don't know how red news affects everything, go to your economic calendar. If it wants to fucking load. Go into here. Turn on your past events as well. There we go. I think it was already on. It's going to be super slow. Never mind. Don't do this. Turn on your past events, and then you can go and see how price impacted. I guess it doesn't want to load here. On FX replay. I wish it would show them to me on the chart, but yeah. Turn on your events and see how it affected price. On average, you know, if you can stay in on a 5-minute position with this much in profit, you'll probably get slipped at worst, something like this, like a really bad news event. But I would still keep my position open. So unfortunately, because of that red news, we missed this entry. So it is what it is. And now it's being super slow. Hang on, let me move up. So 20-minute, I kind of want to see what's going on here. Last time we had demand coming in was through here, had demand coming in through here. So ideally, yeah, I want to see prices dip below here, but I know they love to wick or chop under and then like quickly, you know, grab and grab some traction and push upward. So I could manage up to these lows, but you're only gaining an extra 0.6 RR. It's not worth it for me. I'd rather stay in this position longer term. So we'll see what happens. We'll just play it through. Okay, we're putting in... Perfect. So I got my 3RR and I'm happy with it. I'm gonna jump back up to the 20. Hourly, how's hourly looking? We no longer have any sort of entry validation on the hourly. So I'm gonna give this time to kind of prove itself. There we go. Jump back down to the 20. 20 is valid for entries, clear validation, clear demand. Last demand zone came in through somewhere around here. This is beautiful. Another entry. And just as simple as that, guys, I was able to stay out of whatever the hell this price action was. Because of the 20, yeah, this is the 20-minute. Whatever this chop was, just by waiting for the hourly to validate. So kind of important, and you'll learn this over time. I just did the exact same process on my other system. It just looked a little bit differently because I was on different time frames, and I'm still getting used to what time frames I want to look at for the amount of information they show. And so last night I did a back test, and I'll show it to you. And then I'll have to wrap up this call here in a few minutes. But last night I was doing a back test, and it was a really shitty price action, or a very shitty analysis. And so I'll show you exactly what happened. So I was doing NAS 100, same market, and there's a reason I actually chose this market today. It's because yesterday I did a back test with an unrefined version of this of the system that I'm testing right now. And look at this, pretty shit. 18% in a month, well, 19 days. This is what I consider shit for me. On my other system, I'll do 50 to 100% in a month, easy. And so this was okay, but this is for a $1 to $5 to $10 million account evaluation. Or, you know, if you're trading 10 plus million, you want to be able to scale to a system where now you're trading the hourly, the 4 hour. And so I'm working my way up to trading higher time frames. And so I'm okay getting smaller returns. 18% in a month is still pretty damn good. You're beating JP Morgan, you know, 2 times over in 1 year. So, and inflation, like shit. So this is okay. I wasn't too happy with the results. And so what I did is I went back through my back test. I see, okay, what was I doing right? What was I doing wrong? I found out that one of my time frames was actually, I was using the hourly as my validation and my 5-minute as my entry. And that was causing me to really take a lot of large stop losses. And so you can see the returns here aren't very good. Now, if I go to the one I just repeated, same dates too. Yeah, exactly same dates. If we look at the difference now, well, first there was a learning curve, but now I'm up 31% in 1 month. These results took me 5 months to get. Right here, I went, oh no, was it the other one? Oh shit, I forgot. I actually deleted it. I'm so sorry. I deleted it last night. I was like, this is shit. But yeah, I was doing, no, last night I actually have the call recorded. I did 10% in 6 months. So this is another back test I actually did. I want to say this morning. I don't know if it tells me when I started it. But created. What was that, last night? Yeah. So last night at 9 p.m. I did another NAS 100. And so I had originally done 10% in 6 months, and I thought that was shit. And so the last night I started another one, and I was like, okay, now let's refine a few things. This is the process of refinement. I'll take 20, 12, 100 trades, as many as I need to, and I'll do back tests, and I'll redo the same back test and see, okay, where can I refine? I did 6 months of data collection on NAS. Why didn't my system get involved in these areas? And that's how I refine my systems, is I go back through the equity curve, be like, okay, wait for 4-hour validation. We got that out the way. Oh, wait for the 1-hour validation. Got that out the way. And now this should start to look a lot cleaner. Win rate is going to be shit on this back test. But tonight I'll redo another back test on this exact same market, or on a similar market that I know has been performing similarly. And then I'll see, okay, my win rate went up. What did I change? Okay, it was my validations, this, and that. And so now we're up 31% in a month. So 1% a day. That's not bad. 4-hour. I am going to wrap this call up here. I don't know if I'll pause it or if I'll just upload it later tonight. Hourly validation, 20-minute, clear, 5-minute, good for entries. We could consider this an entry. I want to be completely honest with you guys. I don't know if this candle opened up here, pushed higher, and then pushed down. If this candle opened down here, pushed higher, and then closed here. This is where, you know, personal discretion comes in. And it's like, okay, well, technically, if price opened up right here, pushed down, and then closed up here, this would have been my low, right? 6.41. I don't think a stop this size is very, actually, no. Yeah, that's funny. So a stop this size would have worked. I thought it was way too big, but no. This is a completely valid entry, actually. So I wouldn't even have gotten stopped out. Now you have to be careful, because as the candles are playing live, let's say you have an entry right here at this high. What could happen is the candle opens here, pushes down a little bit, and you think that's your low. You get buy stopped in, and then it pushes down deeper, and then pushes up higher. So once again, you have to take things like this into account. On the live market, I think that's only happened to me in this past month like 2 or 3 times. So works for me, might not work for everyone. If you want, you know, a basic or a simpler system, what I actually used to do is say, okay, well, price is very close to this high, so I'm going to take the next buy stop right here and wait for the next candle to form. That's something I used to do. If this SL got too big and I'm just like, I really want to take this trade, context is clear, everything is lining up perfectly, there's another kind of entry I would take. And so, yeah, let's see what we get. Perfect. Stopped out. Go back up to the 20-minute and wait for another validation. Nothing. Kind of weak, but we are pushing away from here. Let's look at the 30. Yeah, this is clean. I don't like that we're still within this range. Kind of valid. This is not something I'm going to take. And you would have missed it. Like your entry probably would have been here. I want to say, yeah, this would have been your entry, but sucks to suck. This is still an actual valid entry. The strength, we can attribute it to one candle after a longer stage one, but also a stage one, stage two, some sort of stage one or pause in movement. Like if we jump down to the 10, you'll be able to see that very well. Stage one going into stage two. This is still a valid entry for me. Even at this high, this is where in my other system, I take very tight stops. Like on my other system, 1 minute entry, this would be my stop. Even smaller than that. So now I'm looking at 17. Yeah, this is a reasonable entry. 20-minute is probably still valid. Yep. So I just want to see a strong burst candle buy stop me in. That was close. 20-minute is still technically valid, so I'll give it a couple more candles. 20-minute. Once again, we're at this weird point where price is either going to just fly off now or we're just going to stage one, and I'm okay with that. Okay, 20-minute, still valid. Yeah, and we're probably just going to stage one here. Let me look at the 20-minute real quick to see where we're at. Yeah, I mean, this is still a valid entry, believe it or not. Strong pushes away. Like, this to me is a lot of bullishness. This is beautiful. And we're at the high of the range. Like, everything's lining up. The original strength came from this candle. We're nowhere near being extended. Like, you could see another 3 or 4 of these large candles up. So yeah, this is still valid for me. I'm going to wait for a tighter stop to see if I'm given one before I'm buy stopped in. Buy stopped in and taken out. Beautiful. Gonna jump back up to a 20-minute, likely stage one-ing. Yep. Lots of bullishness coming in. 30-minute is clean. 20-minute is kind of clean. Not the cleanest. I just don't like it when we're in these really big ranges. But we are at the high of this range. Another thing I could wait for is another 20-minute candle to open up down here and then push up higher. I'll actually wait for that because I just don't like the size of this range. Yep, and I'll keep you out. Let's look at the hourly. Hourly, still holding up demand, kind of starting to fail down a little bit. So a couple things I could do here. Wait for the 20-minute to give some sort of validation. And I think that's what I'll do. If we fall any deeper, I'm going to wait for an hour validation again. Okay, so 20-minute. Didn't really give us a good entry. Like, this was the only place right here, but it's a little too low. Like, it could have easily reversed. And so now we're just going to give it time. Came back down. I want to see a nice build up from here. Nothing to do quite yet. The only place I see an entry is right here. Let's take a look. I do have to go. Dang it. I don't want to go anymore. I love this back testing. So demand is holding, double demand. Or if you want to look at it, triple. We're holding. That's all that matters. Hourly, good. 20-minute, good. I wish I would have watched it on this candle. I played a little bit too fast. But this would have been my entry. Unfortunately, I missed it. Let's see how it would have played out. Lost anyway. 20-minute, gonna wait for that build up. Once again, stage one-ing. Probably news or something. That's quite big. Okay. Gonna look at the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 20-minute. 20-minute is valid for an entry, believe it or not. Just because of the bullishness we got out of the move. And once again, I'm still using the same rules from my 1 minute system, but there are tweaks. That's the reason I'm actually recording this, is to see changes I can make. Once again, you're at this point where you don't know where the candle opened or closed. Well, I mean, I do. It opened here and it closed here. What was the price movement in between? I don't know. So a couple things we can do here. Once again, I'm just going to wait for stage one. Beautiful. Off of this high. This is actually still valid entry. This is amazing. I like how wiki this market is. The reason it's valid is because move, if you want to see it originally from the MAs, the move came from here, this strength candle. We're at the high of it. So if you want to see how far it displaced, this is how far it's displaced from the original strength movement. Now you could say the move came from down here, right? But if we step down lower, we had a stage one here. The move was continued from this point forward, and that's what I'm looking at. That's where more positions were, I guess you could say, bought into, selling into buying, or weak hand into strong hand. If you want to look at the 1 minute, some sort of Wyckoff schematic in there, the spring, the test, and then we're going to continue up. I don't do that, but if you want, if that works for you. And yeah, I mean, I'll give it an entry. More likely than not, it's going to kind of fall down, but we're testing, so that's okay. Trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. Entry would have been right, yeah, right there, 13, perfect. And do a limit, see if we get bought in. Okay, I have to, that would have been a break even anyway, if we get, so I'll cancel the order because it's probably going to be a break even. Yeah, would it have, yeah, it would have been a break even. So 20 minute, gonna wait for this weird stage one again. This is quite questionable. I'm gonna wait for another down candle. And this is where I just get to sit out and watch everyone else make money without me. Hourly could use a little bit of validation. We're still holding up ranges. So I'll wait for the 20 minute to give me something. Otherwise, yep, there you go. 20 minute give me validation. And immediately I jump down and try to take my next entry somewhere around here. And if you look at, the price movement, this is the left-hand side of price. This is the right-hand side of price. That's a very helpful thing that, I use to see where we are in the price movement, down into up. And so we can see the clear sells into buys, sell, turning into buys are, I think it's called the PSY in Wyckoff, last something test, PSY. Let's look at the 20 minute, still valid. What kind of stop are we working with? So this is actually a little bit bigger than an ATR. So I'm going to make this smaller like that. These are the kind of entries I'll take. Let's see. Bingo. Move to break even. Fastest break even ever. Go back up to the 20. Gonna wait for a 20 minute stage one. This is good. Yeah. I'm gonna choose the high of the range with the low somewhere in here. Nothing. I'll wait for another stage one build up. I do have to go. Like, my appointment's in less than 10 minutes. 30. Okay. Anyhow, guys, I'm actually going to pause the recording here. I do want to finish this back test. See where we're at on the market. I think it was... Fuck, I don't remember which back test. Okay. Yeah, we're up 29%. Not too shabby. We're almost a quarter of the way done with our back test. So once I come back, it's going to be a long video, but at least it'll help people build a system. And yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, I am back in the office. Hopefully everything sounds good. If you hear some noise in the background, my dog is out there upstairs, actually, so he's going to be walking around and making noise. But let's continue this test. I actually want to check on the markets real quick, see how we're doing here. Nothing on... yeah, there's absolutely nothing to do here. Daily, 4 hour, yeah. Gold was setting up earlier, but yeah, we're just kind of falling down. And so this isn't now in our testing, what we're seeing is now we're going into this like weird stage one, wait for validation here on the 4 hour. This is still valid. If the 1 hour decides to put in some bullish price action, 1 hour, 20 minute, and 30 minute, this is still valid. But if we start breaking down on the 4 hour, coming down below the MAs, then we're going to have to wait for some sort of validation, some sort of demand to come in. So that's really all I'm looking at. I haven't really looked at Forex because it's been falling down quite a bit lately. Yeah, we're looking at the 4-hour. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot here. Like at this point, I want to see some sort of buildup or validation on the 4-hour. Here we're still below MA. Is like, yeah, we put in this strong bullish push, but let's look at the daily. You know, there's not a whole lot to trade here. I'd want to see some sort of daily validation. Now I haven't tested this myself. Right now, the only thing I've been testing is the 4-hour validation. But let's suppose the daily is all the way down here, and the 4-hour or the 1-hour starts putting in bullish structure. Then another thing I have to test is, okay, am I going to follow this bullish structure, or am I going to wait for the daily to validate strong bullish candle all the way up here and then follow it long? And more likely than not, even if the 4-hour starts delivering, it's not going to be a very clean delivery. And we can actually go see that, because why not? We have all this past history. So, you know, we had a nice flush out, prices below the MAs. So let's look at this example. We had a flush out. Here, let me delete this line. We had a flush out, prices below the MAs. Now what happens when the 4-hour on this specific time frame, I'll replay it. This specific time frame starts to put in some bullish price action. Well, this is kind of similar to what was going on the live market. Everything was bearish, and we're just below the MAs. Now we're starting to put in 4-hour demand structure in here. And so if we were to jump down to the 1-hour, how can I do this? Here, I'll actually just replay it from this candle to see what it would have looked like. So the 4-hour. Now let's go look at the daily. Trading view kind of sucks for this, but yeah, we're below the MA. I mean, clearly we're in some sort of larger accumulation schematic. I don't know why that's red. Oh, clearly we're in some sort of accumulation schematic on the daily. 4-hour. We're just now starting to have our bullish breaks up. And I know a move this size on the 4-hour for me is going to be more than enough to take out of the market. So I'll jump down to the hourly. Hourly, clear distribution. However, I don't really care, because I know the overlying context is going to be bullish. And so that's the way I kind of analyze it. I don't care if we have 10 breaks down, and even more. The more breaks we have, the better, because it's more likely to reverse. But we're in a very nasty, if you want to call it, distribution model. Without context, and with context, it's going to be some sort of accumulation model. Breaks up, breaks down. Now it's an unconfirmed accumulation model. So another variable we could be looking at is, okay, is the model confirmed? And if we have a breakup, maybe that's when you start following it. But my system was completely different. You know, my 1-minute system is, I wouldn't even be close to this. I would be waiting for the daily to get all the way back up to here and validate. But I realized I was giving up so much potential, because a move literally this size is going to make me so much money on a daily. So I was giving up so much capital from here to here. You know, I was giving up 10 days of price action when I could jump down to the 4-hour and the 1-hour. Like the 4-hour is clean-ish. And this is what I'm testing. So the hourly, not much to do here. Very strong bullish push. Demand is, you know, coming in. Hopefully we have some sort of double demand coming in. Now I can jump down to the 20 and see if we have any sort of longs that we'd like to partake in. Nothing. Still nothing. I want to see it stage 1 a little bit. Something like that, yep. And then I just want to see a very strong bullish candle from here. Questionable, but 20-minute or 1-hour. Yep, 1-hour, we're just stage 1ing. 20-minute is starting to show bullishness. So even on the 5-minute, this is a half decent entry with a low somewhere around here. Just falls back down. So now I'll wait for a new 20-minute validation. It's getting there. It's definitely, you know, putting in those fractal demand in. So let's jump back up to the 4-hour. I know TradingView likes to jump around quite a bit. 4-hour is good. 1-hour. Once again, hopefully this is the start of the stage 2. We're starting to see 20-minute bullishness. So yeah, this isn't half bad. It's quite of an early entry, if I'm going to be completely honest. We're still within this unconfirmed intermediary demand zone. So, or if you want to call it like some sort of fractal MB or something, we're still within this area. So it's questionable, but to me, this is enough confluence to get involved. And so there's a couple ways you can get involved here, or I get involved. You can either take a buy stop of here with an ATR stop, so 0.04, something like that. And I got to play it forward. Okay, so this would have been your entry on that low. Still within the ATR. I mean, that's a very tiny stop, but I would certainly take an entry like that. I would already be moved to break even. So let's see if we get broken even. Broken even. Okay, so now jump back up to the 20-minute. 20-minute is still, actually, probably the 30-minute is going to be valid. But 20-minute, I want to see some sort of stage 1 build out now. We're kind of far away from the MAs. So let's see if we get something like that. Not quite. Okay, so this was new, so we kind of just got to skip that. Coming back in for a stage 1. Good. Absorbing. Kind of like the MAs are scooping up the price. Quite weak. So if you want to consider this some sort of, what do you call it, range? These two candles are quite weak, so I want to see one more. Nothing. And so what I can do is jump back up to the hourly, see where we are on the hourly. I'm probably going to want to wait for some sort of confirmation here. 4 hours still good for demand. Hourly, now we're below the MAs, maybe not want to follow it. And so I'm going to wait for some sort of validation. We're kind of mitigating some sort of price action in here, so I do expect some sort of push off of here. I just want to see some good bullishness come into this market. This is pretty good, actually. You know, we're not all the way down here, which is amazing. Price, we could still say, is getting scooped up by the MAs. Hourly, you know, we got good potential here. This is where the market, we had our strong push up. We had some sort of intermediary or fractal levels, like here, if we jump down to 30. Something here is getting absorbed to some extent, and we're getting the strong pushes up. You know, you don't have to dig so deep into it, but you just need the basic understanding of what's going on here, like reading intermediary price action. And so all I know is there's some sort of fractal S&D right here. Price is pushing off of it. Hourly is scooping up the price action. Let's go look at the 20. The 20 is probably not primed yet. I'm going to give the 20 a little bit of time to go sideways. Perfect. Oh, yes. 5-minute entry right on this bad boy. Gonna wait for an ATR stop, something like that. I don't know what happened first. Actually, TradingView shows us. I don't see how this candle played out. Did it go up first or down? Okay, it looks like it went down first, pushed down, and then it kind of pushed up. I couldn't tell you. That's a tough one. Oh, you know what we could do? Jump down to the 1 minute. Hopefully it doesn't skip us out of price. Okay, so price first came down and then pushed high. Okay, so I'd actually be in on this. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I can't do this because I'm logged into my trade of 8. So we're going to pretend we're in the trade. Hopefully it doesn't stop us out. Stops us out. Jump back up to the 20-minute. 20-minute is actually still very valid. So what I'll do is set up another buy stop above this high. And this will happen from time to time. You're going to get wicked in and wicked out. And that's what happens when you work with very tight entries. I'll wait for a new ATR stop. And it just kind of falls down. 20-minute, we can expect some sort of, yep, exactly. So I want to see a good push off of this. I want to see some sort of validation, kind of weak, still within this range. I want to see something, you know, something of substance. Okay, there we go. So clearly we're having demand. And this is what I like to see. This is a half decent entry. The only thing I don't like about it is that we're still within the high of the original candle that provided the strength. This is good and bad, but I don't like it because both of these candles interacted with the MA. Usually I want to see either this candle push very high up, but us still be within the range of the high. Because from my testing, that's just what's proven to me is the best. And so I'm gonna, since these highs are aligned quite, you know, close to each other, I'm gonna make that my buy stop so I don't get wicked in my ATR. We're going to have a stop slightly bigger than an ATR unless we get a smaller entry. So wherever the next candle opens or closes might be a good ATR point. Okay. So now I can make my stop just slightly closer. So now we're just slightly under an ATR. How's the 20-minute looking? 20-minute. Oh, well, I just kind of gave away what was going to happen, but good pushes up, good pushes up. Still not break even and would have been a loss. So what I'm starting to realize is, well, on the daily, we're far below price action. And so what should I be waiting for here? Should I be waiting for a daily validation? And these are questions you have to ask yourself. So daily is questionable. The 4 hours starting to put demand in, demand and demand. And as we've seen, every single trade I've taken within here or considered to take is a loss. So let's step down to the hourly again. Hourly, we're within a very good region. 20-minute, nothing to do here. The only entry I could have seen was above this high, but this traded down too low for my kind of entry. So we'll play it and wait for another 20-minute validation and see at what point is it worth for me to put risk on that position when my edge is going to play out. So all we've seen up to this point is, okay, the daily is in a very bearish under MAs, kind of absorbing whatever low this was, hopefully getting ready to launch forward or higher. And the 4 hour, we just now started putting demand into it. So maybe if the daily is acting up the way it is, how about we wait for 4 hour demand to come in instead of getting in on the first upswing? And I think maybe that's what I should start doing. 4 hours still valid. 1 hour is still valid. 20-minute, I want to see a strong push off of here so I can get in on this motion. Let's see. Okay, and we're just falling down. So let's go look at the hourly, see where we're at. Price is getting scooped up. Hopefully, I mean, clearly we've traded above this, creating some sort of validation. If you want to look at something like this, we're probably hitting some sort of hidden S&D in here or something, like absorbing this S&D, if you will. Likely pushing off higher from it. If you notice what I'm doing, I'm finding all the reasons why price should do as I think it should. Like I'm building up confluences to make me believe, oh, that's what it's going to do. And so 4 hour, it's not bad. Oh, that's not the 4 hour. That's the hourly. 4 hour, quite weak. Like from my previous testing, I wouldn't be in this market until price is up here from my previous system. But that's okay because I'm willing to take on more risk. So 4 hours kind of starting to fail down slightly. I'm going to give the hourly another bit of validation time so it can kind of prove itself. Okay, so we're getting there. Price got scooped by the MAs. We left some half decent demand. Yeah, I mean, this isn't bad. It's not my favorite because we're kind of just range bound right now. I want to see markets that move. So we actually have news coming up in, well, like 5 hours, 7 hours. So this isn't too bad. Let's jump down to the 20 and see if we get any valid entries here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this isn't bad. Good demand. We've been building demand all the way up, all the way up, and all the way up. And so now what I'll do is I'll jump down to the 5 minute. Let's look at where the 20-minute high is. Yeah. So we'll set a high or a buy stop right above this high, somewhere down here, a stop, and we'll look for a stop within 1 ATR. Okay, so that would have been my low. That's where we got buy stopped in. It's kind of wacky because a lot of the times you get these really tight entries, but you get stopped out super quickly. So go back down to the 20, kind of failing back down. Okay. There's just nothing to do here. So news played out, whatever needed to happen. Now we're getting more daily validation. Build up. You know, we had some sort of absorption of some ranges in here. Oh. And then if you want to look at this as the range or some sort of intermediary S&D, this is kind of where we're at. You know, from the high to the low. I mean, I don't want to go any smaller, any you know, intermediary because there's not much action here. So what I'll do, let's look at the 4 hour. 4 hours starting to show validation coming in. So I need to figure out at what point is this market in a good condition to trade. Okay, so the daily just went under the MAs. A thing I could consider doing is wait until the market validates on the daily, but then you're skipping out on a week of price action, right? So that's where I kind of want to change my edge a little bit and get in on the quicker price action. You know, this is 3 days of good trading that you would have had to sit out. And so, yeah, we'll see how it works out. I'm just testing, so never hurts to upload a video and help someone out to build out their system. Hourly has some really good bullish pushes, something I could consider following. I'm going to wait for the 20-minute to clear up a little bit, though. There we go. So strong bullish pushes on the 20. I'm going to wait for some sort of stage 1. Nothing. There we go. Stage 1ing. Questionable just because of the weakness, but we did trade far above. Well, not far. We did show some good bullishness right above here. Good S&D. You can either choose to trade this or you can give another candle. I'm going to choose to trade it just because of how price action played out. Quickly tapped and rejected off of it with some good, you can see some good buying pressure there in the candle. So what I'll do is I'll set a buy stop above the high with a low somewhere within 1 ATR. Very simple. Okay, good. I believe it might still be valid. Let me jump up to the 20. Nope, no longer valid. Now we're just kind of stage 1ing. So I'm going to wait for another validation on the 20-minute like that. Now we jump up to the 5-minute. Step down, 1 ATR stop. That would have been our entry. Whatever low was created. And maybe a loser. I like to play it slow to torture myself. Okay, so another loser. So what have we realized? Every single trade we've taken in here has been a loser. So what are we waiting for? A daily validation maybe? That's the only thing, like maybe an 8-hour? 8 hours starting to show a lot of bullishness come in. Double demand coming in. Like, this is not bad. So let's see where our trades were and what went wrong. Well, 4-hour market we started watching from right here. We did have one demand kind of come in somewhere around here. It wasn't very clean. Some sort of fractal demand coming right here. Some sort of demand coming in here. It's just not the cleanest price action. So let's slip down to the hourly and see, okay, so we tried to get involved here, failed. Tried to get involved here, failed. I don't know if we tried to get, yeah, maybe here. And then here we missed a trade or we got stopped out and then it went. So let's kind of think it through. 4-hour. How many losses did we just take? Like 4? You'd be down 4 times 0.8. Be down like, assuming 5 trades, you'd be down 4 trades, 4 RR. So you have to consider if this is the kind of risk you're willing to take, because I can guarantee you now the trades that we take should be fairly clean going forward. So maybe wait for very clean 4-hour validation. Weekly is good. So like, funny enough, on my other system, I wouldn't be trading this at all either. I'd be waiting for the weekly to be up here. I need to see like some extreme bullishness coming in, And that's why my other system worked very good, but I wasn't getting a lot of trades. I was getting a couple a month and they were very good ones, but I want to scale into a larger account so I can be less on the charts, because with 1-minute entries, I was always watching the market. So 4 hours, okay. 1 hour. Well, 1 hour is good now. We had lots of validation coming in, still valid. So jump down to the 20 and see if we can get an entry here. Nothing to do quite yet. Nothing. Okay. Starting to clear up. We're leaving some sort of demand here. This wouldn't be half bad. I wish I would have seen this as a bit of a stronger candle. But let's see if we get some sort of entry. And so what I'll do is I'll set a buy stop at the high of this range right here, because it's so closely aligned that it could help us out from not getting stopped out. And so whatever ATR stop we get, we could do an entry right here. Yeah. If this aligns, we're looking at 0.23 versus 0.31. Let's look at the 20. I'm thinking about it. I just don't like the 20. I feel like the 20 could go sideways for a little bit. Not clear bullishness in this. Yep. Okay, we're getting there. Now, if we get a very strong push up to this high, something like this, then I'll take it. A low somewhere within an ATR. Okay. Okay, nothing to do yet. And no, we're just going to wait. You could take some sort of entry there, but yeah, this is a very interesting market. Finally getting some bullishness coming in. Yeah, this isn't half bad. It would have been the same entry either way. We would have just waited here for an ATR. Nothing to do. Get tapped in, get tapped out. Actually, I don't know where the low was, so yeah, probably just a loss. And so what I do is update the high to that, see if it's still a valid entry. Still questionably valid. I would still take another loss here. And then look for another ATR. Went down first, then tapped me in. We're at 0.37. So I probably would have managed to low of this candle. Probably moved to break even already, and probably a break even. Yeah, definitely break even. Okay, so nothing to manage to. The lowest point I see right now, or the highest, is something like that. Oh, that got close, stopped out. And there you go. Like this is something I want to continue testing over time, but like, is this worth trading for me? And I don't know yet. I need to collect, hundreds of thousands of trades to kind of, or tens of thousands at least, to know if that's worth trading for me. Okay, so as we continue this price action, we're going to continue for some sort of 20-minute validation. Nothing. Okay. This would have been a good entry. Let's see if I would have looked at that. So nothing here yet. Yeah, this would have been good. I don't know if there's an entry there for us, but at the high with a ATR stop somewhere around here. I don't think that would have constituted a ATR 0.092. Oh yeah, that would have. Easy. Okay, so this would have been our entry. Move to break even. Not quite a good area to manage to. The only place I would have managed to, if I were quick enough, would have been right here. And I usually don't set it right at the line, so just slightly below. Would have been close. So I don't know if I would have gotten stopped out or not, but see what happens. We get stopped out anyway, so. Yep. Let's go look at the 20-minute again, see if there was another entry. Oh. Right here and right here. Kind of right here. Let's go look at the 5-minute. Off of this candle, probably would have gotten an entry. I don't know where the stop would have been. It's kind of hard to tell on replay. But this right here would have been just absolute perfection. An entry like this. I don't know if it plays out or not, but yeah. So break even at least. Hopefully we continue the 20-minute stage 1. Hopefully we just get a nice burst up, but it's probably going to stop us out. Oh, come on. Okay, I guess we're going through rollover. Survive rollover. Beautiful. Still nothing to manage to. Like, where are you going to manage to right here? So I probably would have trailed with something along here just to secure the extra RR. I don't like to leave more than 2 RR on the table at a time. So, yeah, I got really off track, didn't I? But yeah, that's kind of what I'm testing. And shit, this video is going to be long. Okay, so let's look at where we're at on the 4 hour. Good. 1 hour. 1 hour's kind of weak, not gonna lie, but still getting scooped up on the price. Still valid. So 20-minute. I want to see a little bit more bullishness off the 20-minute. See what we get here. Oh, right here. This is the candle I would have been looking at. I'm gonna replay. Like I said, I'm testing. I don't have a fully defined system for this quite yet. So give it one more candle. Fuck. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, so 20 minute. Let me look at the hourly. Yeah, this would have been a phenomenal fucking entry right here. Yes, 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 yes. This is something I absolutely... Okay, I'm going to replay because that is 100% something I would take in. Just so I can go back later and kind of see how price played out. Because I do my own analysis after the back testing. So 20 minute. Yep, starting to show some bullishness. 5 minute. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the 20 minute again. Yes. Okay, so whatever next low is created. Yep, I'll do a limit. I forgot to place the order. Fuck me. Okay. I'm actually going to cancel it and do a stop order so I get buy stopped in. And this is my life, guys. This is what I do all day, every day. But yeah, let's see what we got going on. Break even. Oh, don't place it right behind it. Okay. Yes, this is perfection. So when price was here, I wouldn't manage to anything. We're still break even. Break even. Yes, this would have been an area when this burst happened. And I would have updated it to this low when this burst happened. And now we're finally at this final burst. We're looking at 4.2 RR versus 5.1. So that's not even an RR gain for the prospect of earning way more than one RR. So if we look at the 20 minute, we could go into sideways that goes right up to about here. So I'm going to not do that. And I'm going to give it time and the space it needs. Give it space. Shiver me timbers, bro. Okay, that got really close. I wanted it to shoot up, but we didn't survive the stage 1. And now we have more entries. So I got my 4RR. I go about my day with my 20 fucking grand. And I smile, right? Okay, perfect. Another entry. And so let's step... Oh, fuck. Let's step back down to the 5 minute and see where I managed to. I think I managed to right... Where was it? Yeah, right here. So right below there. Let's look at where that's at on the 20. Yeah. I mean, there's just some areas that I'm not willing to take up or give up my risk for. So I'm going to put a... Where was that 20-minute burst? Yeah. So this actually, if there's a valid entry right here, I think it's way bigger than an ATR 13 versus 10. No? Valid entry right here, actually. Psych. So 20 minute, gonna wait for another validation. Kind of falling down. Hourly, we're falling down pretty heavily. Yep, hourly, we're just gonna fucking troll around for a little bit. So I'll step back up for an hourly validation. How's the 4 hour? 4 hour is a little questionable. And this is where your testing comes handy. You know, you need to know if this is a market worth pursuing. I'm probably going to wait for a 4 hour validation now, just because of how far we've displaced. There we go. This is okay price action. I'm not going to say it's the best. Let's look at the hourly. Hourly pushing higher, getting pushed up by the MAs, or like scooped up. 20 minute, we're going to wait for a stage 1. See if we get anything. Okay. Okay. So valid entry. Even though 4 hours far below the MAs and we're just now making a bullish move. Yeah. That would have been my entry. 6.57 versus 8. Yep. Good. Ah, dang it. I lost my stop loss. What was it? 0.6 or 5 or something? Something like that. Yep. Moved to break even. Kadoink. And stopped out. So let's go look at the 4 hour again. 4 hour, we are below all this, pushing higher. Hourly is putting in some nice demand. Nice push off of here. Nice push off of here. Nice push off of now here. So still valid, technically. I remember in our other test, when we were here in January, where was it? Right here. We wanted to see validation, but why? Maybe because price was very wicky. So right here, price isn't very wicky. So maybe this is an area you'd be fine with looking for a long because it's not wicky and it's not chopping back and forth, but rather very swiftly getting bought up. That's another thing you can test. So hourly breaks down, getting bought up on the hourly 20-minute. I want to look for my validations. Nothing to do, nothing to do. I need to see some good bullishness. Still nothing. Okay, right here. Yes, sir. I hate it because it like plays 2 candles at a time sometimes. So hopefully it doesn't skip me here. Okay, it's gonna skip me. Maybe if I play it like that. Yes, okay. So here on the 4-hour. 4-hour, now we're getting scooped up. Hourly, clear demand coming in. 20-minute clear, demand coming in. 5-minute, next entry or whatever we get in here. ATR stop. That would have been small. Actually, no, that's kind of reasonable. Set up my buy stop here. Are we above price? Yeah, we are. So I'll just replay. We're looking at 9-point stop. Or whatever the units are for this thing. Ticks. 9 ticks. Maybe? It's a lot of ticks. Okay. Nothing to manage yet. Taken out. Let's look at the 20-minute. 20-minute, we just made the strong push up. Came from here. Probably the 30 minutes going to be very clean. Yeah, 30-minute is just perfection right here. So maybe I'll reconsider another entry right above the high. Right here. Something like that. And it just falls down. So now I'm going to wait for another 20-minute buildup. Nothing to do here. Let's go look at that hourly. Probably starting to fail down now. Going to wait for another hourly validation. Good enough. It's not the best. Oh, my bad. Didn't mean to play that. 4-hour. Like I said, we haven't gotten the validation. So why don't we wait for a 4-hour validation? Like a clear one, because this is probably not very substantial. We just mitigated some sort of intermediary price action we got here. So I could see price continuing higher now. I just want to see some, yep, there we go. So this to me is 4-hour demand validation in, several different ways. You have this 2.0 buildup right here that pushed off this zone, and now we're hopefully going to continue to push up. Looking at the hourly, we're far displaced above whatever that was. Some sort of weird stage 1 20-minute. Now I just want to wait for stage 1, something like that. Yep. Very weak. Questionably weak, actually. This is okay. I'd look for an entry right around there. And this looks like a very good one, actually. So 5-minute, 6.14. We're slightly above an ATR, but still valid. Okay, now I could update my low to this next bad boy. Something like that. Get buy stopped in. I'm telling you guys, I like to take quick losses or quick winners, I want to know if I'm going to be right quickly or not. Okay. I think we hit 2R on that move. So yeah, break even. And I don't think we're going to survive this. Okay. 20-minute. I want to see. I told you, this looked weak to me. Didn't look very promising. Okay, now it's too far displaced. On the 30-minute, it'd probably be a valid entry. Let's look at the 4-hour. 4-hour is good. Now we're in some sort of accumulation. Hourly pushing up, 30-minute, clean. So the only thing that's making this valid, this entry valid right now is a 30-minute. And the reason is stage 1 going into early stage 2. If you jump to the 20-minute, the stage 2 is kind of just like milking up. Like you can define this as a stage 1, but I don't like that you can't define the strength from one given candle because this entire move began from this low right here to up here. So where'd the strength really come from? Some would claim this candle, but this candle is quite extended from the MA. So 30-minute makes that valid. You see that? Stage 1, very clean. Very easy to decipher which candle the strength came from. And so I'll take it. I'm starting to notice that the 30-minute validations just don't work out the best for me. So that would have been my entry. Oh, come on. Move to the limit. But this specific scenario proved differently, right? Nothing to manage to yet. I'm going to give it all the fucking time it needs in this world. Okay? I've noticed that by being patient like this and giving it all the time it needs without tight management or anything, those are when I get my runners, and that's okay. You know, the trade just ran, what, 6 or 5 RR? 6? And I just took a break even. So 20-minute. Coming back down for some sort of stage 1. Perfect. Okay. Kind of weak, but we are coming out of whatever this is, some demand validation. So 4 hours kind of just going sideways. Hourly is pretty okay. 20-minute is coming out of whatever this was. So 5-minute, I'd be willing to put risk on this high right here. Whatever low's created within an ATR, I'd probably manage to something like this or a little tighter below this low. Yeah, not bad. I'll put risk on this position. 20-minute is no longer valid at all. I don't know what I was looking at there. Gonna wait for some more validation to come in. Perfection. It is 6:30 news and we're trading at 5. Yeah, we still have an hour and 25 minutes. So some sort of entry there. Nothing. Let's look at the 20-minute. 20-minute is still valid if we get a strong push up and some low within here. Okay, still valid. We're looking at 5.77. I'll lower this to right below the body because I don't want to go over an ATR. I want to be as conservative with my stop losses as possible. And if a new low gets created, that's going to be it. Nothing. 20-minute, we're starting to sideways. I just want to see a very strong candle just buy stop, man. Still technically valid. And now we're going into that 20-minute stage 1, which is perfect. Get some new validations. Perfect. I'll look for a buy stop above this high. Let's look at the 4 hour. Hourly's okay. It's kind of difficult because there's no... Huh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this isn't too bad. It's just not price action that I'm used to all the time. Yeah, I mean, a buy stop off of this high. We got red news. Oh, that was the fucking red news. My bad. So this is 6:40, 10 minutes after red news. If I can catch like a really good entry somewhere around here, I want to wait for the market to tone down a little bit though. I would never take that with real red news. Got plenty of red news coming up, so I'm just going to skip all this. Okay, we got one more red news. There we go. Gonna get quite wicky. So we'll step up to the 4 hour. 4 hours starting to accumulate, push higher, putting in very good demand hourly as well. I mean, just look at this beauty. Stepping down to the 20-minute. Gonna wait for stage 1. Clearly, I missed this. Actually, no, this is still... Let me look at this. This is still valid, believe it or not. Like, this would have been the ideal entry, but I believe there was news right here. This is still valid. So a buy at this high is 100% valid. So I'm going to put a buy stop right here with a low. Let's see where. 9 point. Yeah, this is quite big. Maybe something like that. See if I get an entry in here. It's going to be quite interesting. Yeah, still valid. Okay, no longer valid probably. 20-minute, gonna wait for the stage 1 to build up. Come on, quit being so slow. Okay, starting to build up. Strength, kind of difficult here. But yeah, this is a valid entry. It's gonna probably wick me out. And the reason is here, I'll step down to the 20, step up. Where's the strength coming from? Originally, it came from this candle. My entry probably should have been here, but this candle is also valid for an entry. It meets the same criteria as this candle. So what can I do? I can step up to the 30 and see, oh, it's just one candle. Yeah, so that's not bad. Valid entry right here above that high. Kadoink. Oh, my bad. 0.8. Perfection. Okay, I don't know how the 20 minutes looking. Probably going sideways now. 20 minute. Yep, no longer valid. I'm gonna wait for a strong push up from here. Just not the cleanest market. There we go. Yeah. This would have been a semi-okay entry, just because of how more it displaced off this low. So like this S&D right here, fractal S&D, whatever you want to call it, left a good demand zone and pushed off of it. Right here would have been, I don't think we would have gotten an entry. Actually, yeah, we would have. That would have been a good entry. Let's look at the 20 minute. 20 minute is still valid for entries, however. Let's go take a peek right here. Give me just 1 second. I gotta respond to some people. I'm looking at moving out from here. So 5 minute. Yeah, valid. Still valid. We're looking at just below an ATR of a stop. I'll take this. I do like my stops to be below body sometimes, which is quite interesting. Let's look at the 20. 20 minute is still valid. I just want to see a giant candle, man. That's what I love to see. Perfect. Move to break even. Nothing to manage yet, believe it or not. If I get one more strength candle, I'll manage below one of these lows. I'll have to take a look. Yeah, I mean, if we look at the 20 minute, all this is free reign. Like all this is plausible for a higher time frame reaccumulation. And so I want to manage according to that. But there's not much. Like if we're falling hidden S&Ds or like this would be probably the last zone that would want to be protected, but even then that's probably going to get taken out and then we're going to fly up. 4RR, I'm willing to take the risk for that. Beautiful. That's what I wanted to see. Now I can protect these more critical levels. I don't want to give up too much here. I feel like this is a very important key level right about there. Because if we look at the 20 minute, just kind of envisioning in my head, I could see the MA kind of like bloop, price catching up, doing whatever, undercuts, and then goes. So it leaves me just enough room for me to hopefully not get taken out. 5 minute. Don't take me out. Bingo. Okay. Yep. Good price action here. I do like the demand that came into here and then to here. So I'm going to want to protect these levels. 20 minute. Yep. MAs haven't caught up yet. So we're probably going to get taken out right here. And then a new build up. Just like that. So let's jump down to the 5 minute and get taken out. Or not. Still nothing to manage to. Like if I really wanted to get taken out, I could get taken out at 13 RR. Or at 12. Right now I'm at 9. So that's a good amount of RR I'm giving up right now. So I'm going to just trail this a little higher to 11. Give me an extra 2 RR. And I'm okay getting taken out. Like that's the anticipation. 20 minutes about just sidewalk, you know, something like that. Hopefully. If not, we get lucky and we survive it. But yeah, I could see this coming way further down. Yep. So I think previously I was managed to 9 RR, something like this. Would have gotten taken out anyway. So as the move progresses, it becomes more and more likely for that retracement on the higher time frame. And so that's why I managed a little more aggressively. I could have secured 13, but it just didn't fit my rules to do so. So 20 minute, now we're going to undergo that 20 minute stage 1. Yep. And red news. So we're kind of staying out of all this. Probably going to wait for an hourly validation unless the 20 minute really wants to shape up here. Yep. Hourly or 4-hour validation because we probably fell below all this. Yep. And so notice that as soon as we waited for this 4-hour validation, that's when we became profitable again. If we go look at the equity curve, this is what it was when we started. Gonna refresh to see where we're at now. We're up 43%. Notice that we just took break evens in that entire area. 14th and 15th February. Where the hell is that? Right here. Just break evens. And the moment we hit this one runner, that was on the 15th at, I think I saw 11. Yeah, right here. So once again, let's put that knowledge to use right now and wait for a 4-hour validation. That's how we know when our system's profitable. If it wants to work. Now daily, we started falling down quite significantly. Now we're below the daily. Remember the little test we did back here, somewhere back here where price kind of fell down. We're trying to figure out we're still profitable even though price is below the daily, what we're looking for. So the 4-hour, I'm gonna wait for some sort of 4-hour buildup. Bingo. This isn't the nicest, but if we look at the daily, we're just now sweeping up under the daily. A move this size is going to be more than enough RR for us. Like here, I even want to draw it out so you guys can actually like see what this looks like. A move that size, like on the 5-minute, that's that. Like if I were to take my standard entry with 1 ATR of 8 is what it is right now, guys, you have potential to make up to like 20 RR. And that's if it stops there, you know? So that's why I'm working on this system right now, kind of building it out. It's been very slow. I'm going to refresh it real quick. Doesn't help that I've been recording for over 3 hours now, but hopefully the the file doesn't get corrupted. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do another 3 hours of backtesting later tonight. It happened to me the other day. I was helping a guy out and I was recording it. I was like, I'm going to go publish it, help some people out. And then boom, file got corrupted. The screen froze. It was, all thrown away. And the guy really loved the help I was giving him. But okay, 4-hour, starting to show demand coming in. Very choppy, very like questionable. However, this is the 4-hour. Keep in mind, move this size is more than enough for me. So jump down to the hourly. Hourly, once again, is very shitty coming into red news, 2 red news events. But maybe we can catch something here. We'll give it time. 20-minute, nothing yet. Very weak candles, so probably gonna... Oh, right here. That was not weak at all. So let's see on the 5-minute. Technically, I believe this would have been our entry, because... Let me see real quick. I always want to wait for the 20-minute to close as like validation. Maybe if I put it forward minute by minute. Yep, there we go. So what was that? 30 minute? What am I on? 15 minute. Okay. So now I jump down to the 5-minute and whatever next entry I get here, this is going to be my valid entry and it aligns very well with this high. Those are my favorite kinds of entries. So 1 ATR stop if it wants to play. Yep. So probably going to get stopped out, to be honest. It's kind of tight. Yep. Stop out. 20-minute. Going to wait for an invalidation. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Still nothing. If I jump up to 30, I'll probably be valid. Nope. Still not. 30. Nope. 20. This is a valid entry, but it's quite weird. Dude, I just love when the highs align like this. Like, this is just beautiful. I don't know why, but I just realized these are, like, the better trades, per se. Yep, like that. It just likes to, like, burst up, you know? Okay. I'm kind of killing my brain now for backtesting so much in a day, but... Stopped out. Beautiful. 20-minute. I'm gonna wait for an invalidation. Now let's remember where we're at on the 4-hour. Very choppy. Daily, we're probably just now sweeping up over. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, but remember this really tiny move we were talking about on the daily? This is what it looks like on the 1-hour. So you could just imagine my trades. Let's go look at a stat real quick. My average trade duration with a 5-minute entry is 3 hours. And my average loss is going to be 11 minutes. Now on my 1-minute system, my average loser was 2 minutes and my average winner was 7 minutes. But I can tell I get larger winners, I believe, from this. But they do take quite a bit longer. Yeah, I mean, where were we? On the hour, doing well, 20-minute. Gonna wait for some sort of stage 1. Kind of weak. Gonna wait for one more. Okay, questionable. Still very oh, red news. That's why. You can just tell when a market looks weird. Okay, past red news. Hopefully we can build something nice. It seems like it really had no effect on the price movement. Nothing quite yet. Like, yeah, if you consider this the range, we're just at the high of it. This could be the start of the stage 2, but more likely than not, it's just going to continue range bound. Yeah. Nothing to do, nothing to do. I want to see some real movement here. This would have been okay. Let's look at the 30. 30 minute is still valid for an entry, however. And it's actually quite clear. Price kind of scooped down, came back up. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't too bad. Not my regular trade, but trying new things out. Something around 1 ATR. What are we at? 7 point something. Yeah, beautiful. I'll do a limit so I don't have to replay. I don't think that's 2R. No, it is. Break even. Oh, come on. Okay, took a break even. 20 minute, gonna wait for a new sort of validation. And you can tell right away, most of my losers come from the fact where I can't really pinpoint where the strength came from, right? Like I could have taken an entry here. This was a strength candle, but so was this one. Like, and you jump up to 30 minute and so was this one. So it's like where versus on the other ones, I can just, it's very easy for me to pinpoint where the strength came from. So 20 minute, gonna wait for some sort of base to build up. Nothing to do, nothing to do. And nothing. So let's go look at the hourly again. We had some sort of validation getting bought up. Now we just kind of failed back down. So what I'll do, a couple things I can do. Our previous testing from today showed us that we probably don't want to take trades within this area. Similar to the 4 hour and the 1 hour, I want to wait for some sort of validation. Nothing, nothing. Because what would have happened here? Let's go take a peek. Maybe a loss here, just maybe. I couldn't tell you. Let's wait for this hourly validation. I want to see some bullishness come into this market. Perfect. So what happens if we were on the lowers on the 20 and we are looking for a validation? We probably would have gotten entered into here. So not bad. 4 hour, once again, we're just kind of chopping around, but did put in very clear structure, very clear demand, some sort of very large demand down here. Pushed higher, very much higher. Now, once again, on the 4 hour, getting scooped up, and we're leaving some sort of demand. So beautiful, beautiful. 4 hour is clear. 1 hour is clear. 20 minute. Gonna wait for some sort of validation or stage 1 to validate. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, beautiful. So stage 1. Yeah, this is okay. I'll wait for this entry somewhere right around here. Doink. Look for a new low. Let's see if that's within an ATR. 6 point. Yep. Here, I'll do a fuck. Okay, we'll do 0.8% risk, and then we'll do a limit so I can get stopped in. And I guess not. So what I'll do is I'll cancel this and I'll just have to replay. But yeah, this is the system I'm building out. I used to trade, I still do, but not so much anymore because I have other company stuff I want to use my time up with. So I'm using, I'm going to upgrade to a 5-minute entry system. I know Anton uses the 15, which is fantastic. Probably at some point I'll end up doing that transition, but I'm not there yet. So, oh, don't do this to me. Yep, just buy the pip. And it didn't matter. Probably still would have been a break even. So hourly, where were we? Okay, starting to put in that validation. 4 hour. Yeah. Like I said, I'm testing this new thing. I would never do this on a live account until I've proven it to myself. Okay, 20 minute. Strong pushes up. I mean, we're in a weird range. Probably if I jump down to like an 18 minute. Yeah, you can see clear demand coming in through here. 4 hours clear, 1 hour is clear, 20 minute is kind of clear. I'll wait for the 20-minute to kind of figure its shit out. There we go. Okay. So now there is a very clear buy right above this high. Something like that. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. And we just fall down. Go wait for the 20-minute to give us some new, better ranges to kind of build off of. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Good, good. This would have been a half decent entry. I'm just not liking this market. When you have to stop and really think about it, I do like the hourly. Hourly is looking very clean. 20-minute, questionable. I'm going to wait for the 20-minute to give us some build out of whatever this shit was, and then stage 1. Okay, a little earlier than I expected it to. Okay, hourly's probably going to start failing down. We'll give it one last chance. I mean, just very wiki. I don't want to take any of this. Hourly, we're going to wait for a new hourly validation. Or let's go look at the 4-hour as well. 4-hour. Now we're entering this like weird back and forth within this area. Finally getting some very small level of validation from here. Building off of 2.0 off here. And pushing higher. So this isn't too bad. It's just the shitty price action, man. I'm trying to give it a reason for it to be valid. Four-hour, yeah. I mean, 4-hour, good validation. Hourly, once again, we're just kind of scooping up. 20-minute. I'm going to look for a 20-minute entry, see what we can kind of scalp on here. There we go. 5-minute. Gonna get whatever entry is valid. Good doink. Now, I do like that these highs are aligned, so I'll choose the higher high. Perfect. Yep. That's what I like to see. Hopefully I cover the low there. Please don't take me out. Perfect. Move to break even and takes me out. 20-minute. Gonna wait for a new validation here. Something new to come in. That's okay. Let's look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour, once again, look at this. Where did we lose money last time? Right here. Where are we break even and losing money now? Right here. The only reason I'm actually considering some trades right here is because not only was price actually clean, we got here, it was just kind of like trading back and forth. Wiki didn't really know what was going on. Here, the MAs caught up nicely. We're writing them up. Like, this is something worth checking out. And that's why I'm giving it a shot. Jumping back down to the hourly. Hourly, we're just kind of chopping back and forth. No clear direction. The only thing I'm saying is we're getting bought up by the MAs very nicely. Jump back down to the 20. 20 is giving me some reason to believe that there's going to be continued bullishness from this point forward. So I'm willing to take on a risk here. You know, there was a really nice buy up into this range. So low somewhere right around here, ATR, and nothing. Bingo. Price just going to fall down. And so now I'm at the point where I'm getting exhausted. I don't want to trade this anymore. Like, break even after break even, right? So as we learned from this section right here in January, we are just going to wait for a 4-hour validation. Bingo. So 4-hour validation. Probably as it was building up somewhere around here, we would have caught a trade. Doesn't matter. Hourly. Let's look at the hourly. Remember what I said earlier. Left-hand side of price, right-hand side of price. Beautiful. I mean, that's the easiest way to look at it. Hourly is good. 20-minute. Hopefully we're just now. Yep. Oh, yes. Replayed it, or played it to the perfect point. Some sort of perfect validation somewhere around here. Entry. Perfect. This would have been my entry. I'll look for a limit just so I get stopped in. Probably a break even, to be honest. Yep. I'm gonna move this to break even. I'm gonna get taken out anyway. One thing I do realize is it loves to take me out And then I know other people, this is when they're entering. So this is where a lot of people are entering right here. Let me look at the 20-minute. 20-minute is no longer valid for me. We're too extended. So I could play around with different MAs or EMAs or whatever, but let's see how this one would have played out. Yeah. So like I said, too extended for my system. I wanted to see this anyway. If I jump up to 30, it'll probably be valid. Yep. 30, it's valid. 20, it's not valid. So that's the strength. Where did it come from? This pushed up to here, but this pushed up to here. So where's the strength really coming from? Well, I can see on the 30, it came from the combination of two, right? So I'll just kind of like throw in a buy stop somewhere around this high. ATR stop, wherever low that is. Buy stopped in. Move to break even. Take a break even. And this is it, folks. I mean, this is we're barely through February. 2 months. I want to go look at my return because it's probably just break evens at this point. I want to look at my break even rate too. Kadoink. My run rate is like 30%, but we still have 50% in 2 months. So it's not good, but it's not bad, you know. 1 week, 1 day, daily's looking okay. 4 hours looking good, 1 hour is looking good, 20-minute is looking fantastic. I want to see some build off of here. We got red news here in a couple candles, so play that through. Okay, news had no effect. Let's see. Yeah, the only valid entry would have been on the 30-minute, and actually no, nothing. Only valid entry probably would have been this one, and that's not very valid. So I'll give it time to kind of do whatever it needs to. Probably the 20 minutes gonna be cleaner. Yeah. So to be honest, 20-minute entry right here would have been fan-fucking-tastic. I'm starting to not really like the 30-minute because it doesn't move as fast. I like to see price quickly catch up to the MA so you can get involved again. You can get involved again. You can get involved again. So I'm going to be 100% honest with myself and say, yes, I definitely would have looked at this. Let's look at the 4 hour real quick. 4 hours clean, 1 hour is clean, 20-minute is clean. Yeah, that's definitely something I would have looked at. And a good buy stop off the high with an ATR stop. I'm going to have to take a break here in a minute because this has been going for too long. We're looking at 3.1. Yep. Hopefully we get a tighter stop. Okay. Move to break even. This was actually a really nice trade. Beautiful. No news, right? Nope. Only place I managed to is probably gonna be right below the slow, actually. Something like here. If I get taken out, I get taken out. Manage below this low. Why? Because I know that price is very unlikely to hit some sort of area in here. Mainly this one. Hit an S&D. Or like an actual S&D if you want to look at it that way. Or some sort of refined version of it. Jump back up to the 20. I just don't want to take the risk, but more likely than not, we might see something like this. Kadoink, and more entries right here. So we'll see what we catch. Kadoink. Let's look at the 20-minute. Oops. Went a little deeper than expected, but that's normal. 20-minute, gonna wait for one more validation and just kind of falls off. So I'm gonna take a quick break, guys, because my brain is absolutely breaking. We're up 50% in 2 months, so 25% a month. I'd be up 75K with a 150K account. Think about that, guys. 150K account, you'd be up 75K. That is incredible to think about. And you know, even with a system that I haven't even polished, I have just the fundamental of what I can expect to see from past experience. It's all experience based. And so when I tell you to wait for the 4 hour validations, it probably means something. And so I didn't want to do it at first because I thought I could take edge out of these areas. But once again, the market told me no. You have to wait for money to prove itself. You can't just get in here, scalp your quick 5 RR and then get out. You're going to take a lot more losses. And that's what I've learned from this backtest. Same here. I took endless losses right here. We can look from the 23rd to the 29th. Let's go look. We can match it perfectly. 23rd, right here, to the 29th. What is this telling us? No, don't trade it. Even on the 4 hour. Because yeah, I can guarantee you I could go in here and find a 20-minute, whatever, perfect, beautiful demand, which actually I can't because there's nothing clean here. Right here, I could go and scalp my little 1 to 5 RR with my tight stop on the 5-minute. And congratulations, you secured a break even probably, to be honest. Probably one of the trades I took actually. So on the hourly, nothing to trade here. And so when 4 hour falls below the MAs or we're working with it, like right here, this price action was valid. We thought there'd be continuations up. Right here, I think I looked for another trade. But the moment this happens, just wait for the 4 hour validation, boink, and then you ride it up. Like it's that simple. Anyhow, I'm going to go take a break. It is 6:30 right now. I probably have to hit the gym actually. So guys, okay, this is where I'm going to end it. I'm going to pause the recording here and upload this for tonight. This is where we left off at. I'm going to continue for part 2. And next time, what I might do is actually just do a time lapse and then put music over it. So I'm not talking like crazy. What were we? 25% one, right? Oh, 30. There we go. But yeah, I hope this helped some of you guys. Like I said, this is 3.5 hours of fucking long shit. So if it helps anyone, let me know. I'll upload the second part that I'll probably film tonight. And yeah, so thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, I give you so many props because, yeah, I remember watching Anton's fucking 4-hour webinar, but that was a little bit more entertaining than just looking at pretty shitty price action, to be honest. And so over the next week, I'm going to be doing the exact same backtest on all sorts of assets to see, what I can expect. Anyhow, peace out, guys. The comp man is out of here.